News Sports Center.
Put a slicker over that green jacket. It is going to be raining in Augusta. They're delaying the Masters by at least an hour. Scheduled first tee off 9 o'clock Central Time. We'll keep you up to date. In the NFL, they might get a third helmet in 2025. At San Antonio Spurs, they fall to the Thunder 127-89. No Wemby means big time losing. In Major League Baseball, the Astros lost the fall to the Royals 11-2.
How good you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, gather around, take a knee. It's the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. That's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. This is the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. Check out our live feed. To your left, you'll see RJ comfortable. As always, how you doing this fine Thursday? Small Friday to some folks.
Happy Masters Thursday. It's the best Thursday of the year.
Yeah, slightly Thursday. Yeah, a little delayed as all those storms we've been seeing on TV affected the Masters as well. So at least a couple hour delay. They're looking at maybe a 9 Eastern first guy off kind of thing, but that is certainly in flux as we'll wait until the sun rises and see if the creek rose as well with all the storms. We'll keep you up to date. I was reading some stuff in prep for the show, and I saw a Sports Illustrated article called him Darth Rom. I thought that was a pretty good application to the guy coming back. We'll look at the tournament. We'll look at the Spurs today. If you ever want to, my daddy told me a long time ago, you want to test the measure of somebody's value. See what happens the day after they're gone.
It's an interesting time, to say the least.
Wow, boy. You know, I compared the Memphis Grizzlies to a G League team. Oh, I don't know what. The Spurs were a summer league. No, they weren't even a summer league Vegas team. They were a summer league Utah team. That first little tournament that they bring some of the guys in who got off work just to see if they could put on some shoes and play in Vegas. That one. That was the team we rolled out last night, led in scoring by Zach Collins. I don't know what the hell we'll talk about. We'll hear from Pop and try to figure out how we get the Austin Spurs in their entirety, which I tell you would have been more competitive than the squad we rolled out last night into San Antonio. We put the Austin Spurs with Wemby on Sunday versus Detroit. Our last statement to push Wemby over the cliff or up the ladder, however you want to phrase it, toward Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and All-NBA. Let him carry a G League team to an NBA win. I'm just throwing that out there.
You know, this is not something I want to see.
No, well, you saw it last night. At least you saw a G League team.
I don't want anything to do with that. No.
I appreciate the polo, by the way. Onward and upward toward the rest of the NBA. I stayed up late in a spiteful move. I watched the Nuggets and the T-Wolves slug it out. And it struck me as we talked Silver and Black at 7 o'clock, as much as it sucks to suck, it would suck to suck in another time. It's better to suck in this time than other times because the West is a gauntlet. 1 through 10. I wouldn't want to play any of them. It might be a good time to be sitting this one out.
This is a good year to watch from the side, to gather notes and information and prepare for the future.
Seriously. I mean, it's a facetious thing, but man, oh man, I watched a couple of just knockdown, drag out battles last night. The Clippers and the Suns, that's a couple middling maybes, and they're playing as good a basketball as anybody.
I don't know that I believe in the Clippers, but I can squint and see a world where the Suns do something serious. Yes. I can't see that with the Clippers, but ultimately I saw the NBA Instagram account yesterday had a poll that was like, "Who's going to win tonight, Denver or Minnesota?" And I never doubted Denver. Like I never thought it never seemed close to. I think for years we've talked about. I mean, obviously prior to last year, Denver is this paper tiger.
Mhm.
I think Minnesota's a bit of a paper tiger. I
Well,
mean, they're
yeah,
good.
they are.
I'm not denying that there's legitimacy to who they are, but they are relative to what we're trying to do here. They're a bit of a paper tiger.
I think they actually Minnesota, not in the way that they play, but in their timing in evolution, reminds me a lot of Denver a couple of years ago. I mean, there are certain steps that good teams have to go through to be great. And last night you could tell that they just really don't know how to win against a great team. That the things that are involved, and it's not just making shots and making defensive stops. It's all these other little things, controlling the clock, understanding the flow of the game, finding the hot guy at the right time, going at the guy with foul trouble, inflicting pain apart from on the scoreboard. That all those little nuanced things that it takes to win a basketball game, that takes a couple years to kind of learn, or at least a couple of veterans on the team to teach. And Minnesota doesn't have that. So they're having to go through the gut punch games like that, where they just got ground in from big rock into pebble. I mean, by the end of the game, there just wasn't a lot left of the Timberwolves. And Denver had the same thing happen to them from the Lakers and other teams as they were kind of learning to become a championship squad. So they're a paper tiger now, but man, oh man, if they can manage to keep just a couple of those guys together, and and this is, keep in mind, without the big cat right now, that's going to be a scary team. And last night was just a knockdown, drag out. It could have been an Eastern Conference game, 1997. Not quite as violent, but certainly as hard fought. And if you're not in it and really, really good right now, it might be good to be sitting and watching this one. This is one of those battle royales that a bunch of guys are going to be landing on the floor at your feet, sitting right next to you real soon, who are a lot better than you, but didn't get to play much away from his take, kinda.
The walk back is on.
Well, okay. I just don't understand the process here, because Shefty is not new to the jungle that is the Dallas Cowboy fandom. I don't understand why he said it if he didn't feel comfortable that there was some backing behind it. And if he did say it without any, what the hell are you doing other than supposing, which is fun too. But that's not what Adam Schefter's known for doing. He's not a supposer. He's a leaker.
That's true. It's strange whenever anybody who says anything says, "Well, I mean, I didn't mean it that way."
I said it. What are you talking about? So I don't understand the whole thing that's going on behind the scenes here, because I feel like there's more to it. Much like the Ohtani in the wind. Oh, third story, second page. If you hadn't heard, his interpreter has already pled out to the feds already. 2 weeks. Even if this goes all the way back to October, which it might. Man, why? Why would you plead out now? You never know. You delay until they force you into the trial room, into the courthouse. Why now?
Everything about the Ohtani story has smelled fishy from the jump. And to your point, it's even the way that the interpreter is pleading guilt smells fishy. And nobody, involved seems willing to ask any questions. Nobody who covers Ohtani, the most famous superstar in the world, seems willing to run stories or anything like that. I mean, you look at MLB.com, ESPN.com, you look at any sector of baseball media coverage, there's nobody offering any kind of introspection on this at all. In fact, nobody's even really offering any kind of introspection on how he may or may not have lied about meeting the fan who the Dodgers tried to hustle out of his first home run ball as a member of the team. So I don't want to jump to a conclusion, but I would like more information. But it seems like Ohtani might not be like the sweetest guy in the world or anything, the way his image would want you to believe.
I'm putting together a screenplay, RJ. I'm just kind of roughing it out right now. And this has nothing
hard turn. Okay.
No, this has nothing to do with current events. Names and places with any similarity are strictly circumstantial and not intentional. But I have a movie that I'm going to put out there. It's about this Dominican interpreter
Okay.
who lied to his Dominican pitcher best friend from kindergarten.
His
They'd been
client.
through it. No, not
Right.
client, best friend. They'd been through it their whole lives. I got
Okay.
the actors in mind. And then they get into baseball, and the interpreter steals a bunch of money. Again, the similarities to the current events are just circumstantial. I've been writing this
Coincidental.
for
Right.
yeah, just 3-4 weeks instead of 2 weeks. And then what happens is his best friend, the pitcher, is so big that they can't. There's too much money riding on what he's doing, so they pay off the interpreter. He's going to take the fall. He's going to go to prison, and they're going to give him some money. So they tattoo a Swiss bank account number on him in case, because they're going to have to cut all ties with him. They're never going to be able to see him again. So here's the account. The money's there. They witness it. He gives the password, and that's it. He has to go to prison. Then he gets out, and he's going to have to get out of prison and make it to Switzerland to get his money before the Dominican mobsters who are into him, who really are the ones that were chasing after the original guy, are trying to kill him. What do you think?
Okay.
What do
I
you think?
that I like the code tattoo thing.
Mhm.
Like this is your portal, and it's
Mhm.
up to you to just kind of remember it. I think tattooing it would make it a difficult way to get rid of the
Here's
evidence.
the twist. The interpreter is Kevin Hart. Oh!
Whoa.
Make the movie.
Now all of a sudden
Green
it's really
light.
funny. It's really funny now, and we're gonna get commercials for it in every major sporting event for the next 3 months. And there's gonna be a lot of screaming, and somebody's gonna get hit down low, and it's gonna supposedly be the funniest thing in the world when that happens. So
Well, the interesting
I
turn.
like the code. I like the code element. It reminds me of I think it was Ocean's 12 when Julia Roberts at that point has already made nice with George Clooney.
Uh-huh.
And she calls him because like the feds are showing up to his house
I
or
remember,
their
yeah.
house.
And gives like I won't be home for dinner or something like
Yeah,
that.
she has like a code phrase,
Yeah.
and he goes, "Hang up now." It's like I think it's something like "There's water under the sink" or something. But she's like she struggles. She's like "There's water under the sink," and he's like, "Oh my gosh, DEFCON 1, hang up the phone now." So, but again, I think your screenplay is great. But
I think so.
If the plot is that the secret code or passage or map or whatever is literally tattooed, then it's kind of difficult to
Well, he has the account number, but it's in his brain is the code to get like his ATM code.
What if let me just like modify this a bit. What if instead of a code, it's like a barcode?
Something like that. I'll buy it.
At some point, it has to be scanned or something.
Mhm.
Like it's a little bit hiding in plain sight kind of thing.
A little bit higher tech Swiss bank. Yeah, that kind of thing. And he's going to have to get from the Dominican jail to Switzerland without being killed by the Dominican mob, who's out to not only collect from his best friend, but to keep secret that they are in control of all of baseball.
Very quickly, just since we're here, what's your favorite spy movie? Favorite spy movie? Go 1, 2, 3, go.
It's Robert Redford, Brad Pitt spy game.
Okay, I was thinking more of like an iconic spy, like an iconic detective, or somebody like, somebody who's on the run, something like that. I was thinking like more of like a series, like like maybe James Bond or something like that. Was kind of what I was fishing for.
I like all of those. Bond is certainly the longest one, but that was actually pretty good.
I know. The answer we were looking for, Jason Bourne.
Yeah, I was going to say Bourne's my favorite because there have been 2 great fight scenes in the history of movies. Well, there's been more, but the 2 greatest. One involved Jason Bourne in the first of the Bourne Identity movies, where he whipped the dudes with a rolled up magazine. Yeah, that one. And then the movie Atomic Blonde. There's a fight scene in there that is as good as anything I've ever seen.
I would offer I don't know which Bourne movie it was, but it gave us one of the best memes that we have, where the like Fed guy sees him on the camera and he goes, "Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne." And everybody's like, "Whoa, oh my God, no,
Jason Bourne.
It's back. Oh my gosh, we're screwed." He found the Swiss bank, and he didn't even need the barcode that was tattooed on the guy's arm.
I'm telling you, it's a treatment. I'm working on it. I'm not saying it has any similarity to what's going on, but it certainly feels like it could. So on a movie vein, I saw where Robert Downey Jr. It might be down to come back and play some kind of Iron Man character. I don't know how. He's supposed to be dead, but that being said, when has that ever stopped anybody else? But if
LaShawn
you're
McCoy spoiled that for everybody, and now you just did again.
What? Who did?
When Avengers Endgame came out, LaShawn McCoy tweeted out, I don't want to be that person, but he tweeted like you just were, in case anyone somehow still hasn't seen it. But he tweeted out the like main thing that happened in that movie, like 12 hours.
You can
after
say
the movie
it now. I think you're
I'm
safe
not
in
gonna,
saying.
I'm not gonna do that. But anyway,
if
LaShawn
you
McCoy,
ever saw or haven't seen any of the Marvel movies, close your ears. They all evaporate.
LaShawn McCoy tweeted out the main, change that you just insinuated.
I didn't insinuate it. That's what happened.
He tweeted it out like 12 hours after the movie came out, before a lot of people had a chance to go see the movie, and he got destroyed on Twitter for being a jerk.
Well,
and
he's
I will never
a jerk anyway.
Well, I will never forget that Matthew Berry, who was actually in that movie, and the world, the renowned fantasy analyst, and fighting Texas Aggies. Mom was the mayor. I don't know if she still is, but she was.
Matthew Berry and I worked together years ago.
Right. Well, so he tweeted. He was so upset, just from a principle standpoint.
That's awesome.
That he tweeted out all of these disparaging fantasy facts about LaShawn McCoy. He was like,
I'm trying to remember his nickname. What was he? Slim Shady?
Shady. Yeah. He was like, in X and Y situations, he averaged 1.1 yards per carry. And like, it just like, it was the nerdiest way possible to rake him over the coals. And it was so cool. So shout out Matthew Berry.
Shout out Marvels and shout out Robert Downey Jr. Who would you have come back play a role that they haven't done? Or maybe on the other side of that coin, who's playing a role now that you're tired of seeing them do it? We'll talk that. But hey, the haircut's got his list. We're coming back with all the possible mock drafts you could possibly stand. And Mel Kiper Haircut Jr. has come out of his hole. He saw his shadow. We're just a little under a month away from the NFL draft, and he will tell us who he thinks the Cowboys will take, and we will reflect on such things and see what the Cowboys should do. That on the heels of Adam Schefter backing away from a strong and steady statement. Lots of NFL and Cowboy talk coming around the bend, so don't go nowhere. You chose correctly on a small Friday or big Thursday, depending on your altitude. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I just saw the weather this weekend, my friends, and it is time to go get the coals, the pellets, the grass, or whatever you need to get the meat ready on the weekend. The Masters is going to be going all weekend long, and nothing goes better with the Masters than great meat from the Tri-County Meat Market. I'll tell you what, on Saturday, I would have a moving day kind of an afternoon full of poppers, easy dine, get and go kind of food that you can put on the grill early. And that Tri-County's got everything you need for that. Go get your poppers, go get your sides, go get your fajitas, go everything you need just to grab and go. Get some of their hot dogs, get some of their house-made burgers that, by the way, I think they actually grow while you cook them. I don't know how it works, but those things are fantastic. Get that easy dining stuff on Saturday, but for Sunday, save the good stuff for Sunday. Get it ready right about 3 o'clock so you can sit down and watch the charge down the back nine. Make sure you get some good meat. And that's only going to be at Tri-County Meat Market. And while you're there, take advantage of all the specials. First responder, you're getting 10% off, and don't walk out without that 5 for 25. Let me tell you, I'll say it again, best deal in San Antonio. 2 locations, Huebner and Ralph Fair. A great meal starts with great meat over at Tri-County Meat Market. They start at Prime and get better. Head over and get all the stuff you need. If you haven't been, you better go. We're going to be out there live with a Blitz on Mother's Day. Get there before then. That's Tri-County Meat Market. Head over there today, and I know you're going to thank me later.
94.1 FM.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
She got a 10-year-old vet, but really these convertibles bring more when they're automatics. And why? Do you know why, Dave?
So the women can drive them, yes, sir.
There you go. So the women can drive. Not that a woman can't drive a stick. It's just not comfortable. Is that misogynistic?
Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me? Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Misogyny.
Yeah. Well,
I'll call you Eminem.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
George gets justice. In life's most challenging moments, getting the right help matters most if you've been injured. Get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers. With a track record of success and a dedication to their clients, George gets justice. George Salinas Injury Lawyers is not just a law firm. They're your support system. Get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit GetGeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Hard work
dedication, and dreams. These are the keystones of success. But easily filing your taxes with TurboTax and Credit Karma doesn't hurt either. And getting your max refund guarantee definitely doesn't hurt. But let others think you did a lot of hard work to file your taxes when in reality, it was a walk in the park. No, you literally filed while walking your dog in the park. Winner! Because some key info is pre-filled for you, so you can file quickly and confidently like the boss that you are. So give yourself the peace of mind that comes with getting expert help, because you're going places. Let's go! And make tax season feel like it's award season with easy filing. Yeah! Know that you're backed by the leading tax preparer, TurboTax, and we'll show you all your filing options up front, so there are no surprises. Feel accomplished and confident that your taxes are done right. File an Intuit Credit Karma today. Yeah. Expert help not available with all products. Guarantee details available at turbotax.com/guarantees.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Puro San Antonio football returns to the Alamo Dome this Sunday as they take on the St. Louis Battlehawks. Let's pack the dome and join the herd in the best seats at the best prices, now starting at $15.50. Led by legendary head coach Wade Phillips and quarterback Chase Garbers. Experience the excitement. Head to theufl.com to buy your Promise tickets today. It's the Promise versus the Battlehawks Sunday. Kickoff in the Dome is at 2. Get your tickets now at theufl.com. Vamos Promise!
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth. And if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges on your tax debt daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you will owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima Tax have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-970-3199. That's 800-970-3199. 800-970-3199.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Diamonds Direct spring sale starts this weekend. Get 20% off rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. It's the best store-wide sale of the season. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. That's right, 20% savings plus an extra $100 off. Also enjoy an expanded selection of the latest styles with designer appearances each weekend. Tons of engagement rings on sale too. 20% off starts Friday and open this Sunday as well. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Thanks, Jim. He'll be here at noon. He's grabbing a vine. I got some tickets to give away, don't I? Today, Edwin?
Yes, Nyosa and Alma Heights Night.
Heights Night and Nyosa. We're just a little over a week away from Fiesta. Opening night, Nyosa. Heights Night. Any of my morning brigade want to go? RJ's already passed on it. I think he has.
Good. I want somebody else to benefit.
Yeah, well, we share the wealth. Let's give something away to our morning brigade right now. You want to go to Heights Night? It is Friday, April the 19th. That's just 8 days away from you and me. There'll be Hot Cakes. That's a band. Finding Friday, one of our favorites, will be performing. And all the stuff on a stick you can stand. It's Heights Night. It begins our fiesta. I want to thank them for a pair of tickets. Caller number 5. Going to go to Heights Night on us. You're welcome, Morning Brigade. We're always glad you're with us if you haven't already tuned in. And if you're listening in the car and you're hearing that strange code that's coming in between our broadcasts, that's just the aliens. Don't pay any attention. We're the suits, the higher ups, they're monitoring it. But to make it easier to listen, go to the device, sasportstar.com, or go to our YouTube channel. It works the same, and you can listen while you drive. You can shoot it through your speakers if you got the Bluetooths, and just makes the world that much easier. Yes, sir.
Good advice.
I saw the haircut for the first time in a bit yesterday. He's making his rounds. Mel Kiper Jr., the Punxsutawney Phil of the NFL prognosticators, has offered us, is it 1.0? Is that where we're at now?
This particular mock is. This is not his first. I mean, this is at least his third.
Okay, so I think we get one like right after the Super Bowl. They roll his old ass out and he gives us one, and then we get one as like when maybe free agency began, and now as the clock is ticking, we get the ones that I guess he assumes count. I love these because I do think he does his homework and understands what teams need. I hate it when anybody does a mock draft and they include some kind of manufactured trade. That's
why.
Because that's just, you can't do that unless you
Why
are,
not?
because that's just
Where does it say
supposition. Anything. I know the first half of this sentence is supposition. You're supposing if all things were equal and you look at talent the way I look at talent and you see your team the way I see your team, this is the best guy to get. And I appreciate that. But then you add in the variable of the trade, which then makes everything after that move a recipient and a incumbent upon that variable, which is too far out there.
So would you posit that there won't be any trades? In the first round?
No. To the contrary, I think there are going to be trades, and it's just going to throw off everything you just told us.
If they're inevitable, why not try to guess them the way you're trying to guess the entire thing?
Because this is more about a team's individual needs to me, more than it is an NFL, plot.
I think you're approaching it incorrectly though, because it's not a team needs
But
list.
see,
It's
no,
a mock draft.
this is my gist. So let's say that Mel says at pick number 24, the Cowboys pick this guy Guyton, this tackle from OU,
Tyler,
which I have no problem with, whatever that. But let's say because he's only there because of some sort of manufactured trade that he made up ahead of that draft that moved a guy. But yes, that moved a guy that might have fallen.
But that's again a real possibility.
It is, but it is another. I have no idea what trade is going to happen, and the after effects of that deal that might or might not happen have an effect on the guy that you give to the next team after the deal. So why don't you just focus on each team's individual need and go in a vacuum today?
It's a mock draft. That's the whole point.
Yeah, but it's not a mock trade scenario. It's a mock draft.
You're trying to predict the round. I think that I know you're
I think you skew your results.
Hair.
I do. I have one, and I have for years.
So this isn't a line from him. It's a line from Daniel Jeremiah. But he always says that he builds his big board with his eyes, and he builds his mock drafts with his ears. And I think that's the best way.
Okay, now that's my qualification. If you can come to this and say, I am hearing that this is happening.
That's the whole premise behind this. That's the whole
right. And
the whole premise.
I will allow for some of that, but you have to understand that when you allow for that, you skew the possibility of the player that the team that you're talking about, at least your favorite team, is staring at.
Crossing his fingers and saying, like, I hope I get all 32 right here.
But you have to agree that it would be easier if you just, as a draft analyst, you go, okay,
it would be inaccurate.
No, it would be accurate in that
trades.
The way that most people consume the draft prognosticator is, who is my team going to draft? And what are they looking at? And if you come to it and say, this is who the Cowboys are looking at, offensive line, yada, 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 and there's 5 of them, and you give me 4 or 5 different scenarios, then I'll go, okay, now I buy what you're talking about. But one off, and the next week's another one, and that changes the guy I like because something happened above me, not because anything you heard from the Cowboys. No, I don't like that.
Because the general premise here is that, okay, the Cowboys took Tyler Guyton in Mel Kiper's latest mock draft. So you can presume that they're probably
Do you think they would have taken Tyler Guyton regardless of anything that happened in?
No, but the whole point is to simulate what could happen and to put yourself in that situation and say, okay, in this situation, Tyler Guyton is the pick that makes sense. And you don't have to marry yourself to the literalness of it. You could say, okay, but if it weren't Tyler Guyton, maybe it would be, another tackle. Maybe it would be.
But let's
I
say
don't
the
know,
New York
Jordan Morgan.
Giants
Maybe it
suddenly
would-
come up with another trade, and this guy's now gone. Well, I mean, yeah,
again,
by that study, everybody's
the-
going to be available
the
to me.
full purpose is to simulate what could happen and account for potential trades based on team needs and how aggressive some team needs are,
Mhm.
and try to figure out what the pool could look like when you're on the clock. So the trade that apparently caused you to lose sleep last night, Kuiper has the top 4 picks going pretty chalk. He does have Jaden Daniels going to Washington. That's been pretty popular as of late. He has Drake May going 3rd. There's a prospect every year. There's always a quarterback that everybody overthinks and
will
kind of
fall
talks
to
himself
late.
out of. And that seems like it's turning into Drake May, or has been for a while. Marvin Harrison Jr. going to the Cardinals, and he has the Chargers trading down with the Vikings. And the Vikings obviously picked up the extra first-round pick from the Texans. Again, you think this is the dumbest thing in the
I do.
world, but the the Vikings coming up for J.J. McCarthy. So there goes the 4th quarterback. Malik Neighbors, some people believe to be the actual consensus number 1 wide receiver in the draft, going 6th to the Giants. Joe Alt, the best tackle, going to the Titans, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Roma Dunze, who's a lot of fun, going to the Bears. So he's with Caleb Williams. Brock Bowers, the best tight end in the draft, going to the Jets. That is one of the more chalk predictions across all mocks right now.
I like all of that.
So going down. All this is kind of fun. Troy Fontenot, a lot of people love in the
Tell me
most
the position.
amazing world of all worlds. He finds a way to fall to 24 to the Cowboys, but that's unlikely.
Who is it?
Byron?
Who's Troy Fontenot?
He's a guard, interior lineman from Washington.
From Washington. Okay.
Yeah. So moving down again, this is Mel Kiper's mock. He has Graham Barton, another interior lineman that people like, at 20 to the Steelers. Byron Murphy, the defensive tackle out of Texas, going to the Bengals. Nate Wiggins, the Clemson corner, going to the Eagles. And right before the Cowboys, the LA Chargers select through another trade, which again just really grinds your gears. They move up to take Xavier Worthy, the speedy receiver out of Texas.
Now that would be awesome.
With. So again, the point here is Tyler Guyton is the pick to Dallas at 24. Amarius Mims goes 1 pick later to the Packers. It could be Guyton.
And who's
it could
that?
be Mims.
Well, that's another tackle.
He's the tackle out of Georgia. Other than that, Brian Thomas Jr. goes to the Bills. I don't think that's a shock.
I don't know who that is. Give me positions.
He's the wide outside of Malik Neighbors, obviously.
See, I look at it like this. You don't even have to tell me the name. Tell me the position. I don't know enough about these cats. There's too many of them. But if I know Cowboys need a left tackle, tell me left tackle, and and by my chart, the 4th best available. Okay, that's all I need to know.
This is a little bit of get off my lawn. What you got going on here?
I understand he has a job to do, but by the variation, but every time you vary the variable, you make the outcome even that more outlandish.
Nobody is arguing with the probability of it all,
right?
Which is your.
So when I see it, I go, well, as long as you, in your write-up, in your study, in all the efforts that you've put out, you go, this, by my look, this is the Cowboys' needs. This is the desire I've taken into account.
Exercise. It's a different exercise.
But as a fan, I want you to tell me who you think the Cowboys should draft as as an expert, and then tell me the list of guys that you expect to be available and the best one in your mind. Don't go, well, because this guy got moved up.
Exactly what he's doing over the course of several mock drafts.
There you go. Okay.
And circumstances change and information changes.
Exactly.
And so the whole point of this is to simulate. You rolled your eyes, but he had the Chargers trading up with the Vikings at that 23rd pick.
Sure, why not?
And so, okay, but here's the thing: if you have to be prepared for that. I mean, right now we're sitting and we're talking. To your point, you'd be like, "Oh, well, the Vikings pick ahead of the Cowboys."
Well, the Vikings could just miss a pick.
Okay, but let's just do that too. Let's just do the mock exactly as it lies. Well, you can't because what the Vikings team needs are different than the Chargers. What if you're expecting? Last year, everybody thought the Cowboys wanted a tight end in the first round. And the Buffalo Bills jumped to the pick in front of them. They traded with the Jaguars to take Dalton Kincaid out of Utah. Okay, well, if you didn't mock for that, you weren't prepared. The whole point in all of this is to prepare for any and all circumstances.
Yeah.
You need to chill out. You need a cookie.
I need a cookie. And I need about 4 or 5 more of these mock drafts from a bunch of different circumstances. And we will then at some point get an idea which way the wind is blowing. But this one, sure. all I know is at least he sees what I see, and most other Cowboy fans see the same thing. Get an offensive lineman. So I think, that's what I take away from all these. Get a lineman, whether he's from Hawaii or Washington or OU, I'll leave that to the scouts. But if you're telling me that the best lineman out there will be this guy, I'm down.
So
but as long as he's a lineman.
You're trying to take away all the fun. Why? I don't want any special effects in my movie. I don't want anything.
I like him in black and white.
Just
Yes, I
go
do.
talk.
Which,
Just
by
go
the
sit
way,
and talk and read a book and tell me the story.
Have you been watching Ripley? I keep waiting
You
for
watch
it to
a
turn
lot of
into
shows,
color.
man. So I don't want to hear about any more of your shows until you watch Succession. That's the new rule.
I don't watch old stuff. I'm a new kind of guy. What's new and improved? That's all I care about. Old stuff's for old people, and I'm not old.
Wow.
And get off my lawn. We've been talking about the draft. The Cowboys could draft a quarterback. Who the hell knows? They probably should draft a quarterback. But it might not be, according to Adam Schefter's thoughts. Adam's stepping back from his statement. We'll look at why and how this came to be. As Schefter told us, the Cowboys were a sleeper to go get a quarterback. Now, maybe not so much. After that, we're looking at Shohei Ohtani's lack of coverage. What's going on as his interpreter has pled out to the feds? Hang with us. We're talking news and interesting stuff. So we'll be right back. It's the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, we have got a star-studded show for you, including Ice Cube.
Ice Cube from the Big Three is going to join us on the Blitz. So will Nancy Lieberman. It's going to be a fantastic day talking Big Three basketball. Plus, we'll talk NFL with John McClain at 5:15. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
As we wind down the NBA regular season, still time to get in on the action at Underdog Fantasy and their Pick'em game. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. I love playing the Pick'em game, a fantasy game where you can win real money, and it's legal in Texas. Love playing the Pick'em game where you pick between 2 and 5 players and select higher or lower on player stats. If your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money, and it's certainly a lot of fun to play and adds excitement to watching the silver and black. So go to the Underdog Fantasy app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, you'll get a mystery special pick to use on your first Pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, use my promo code STAR when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Risa, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults.
Nothing is everything.
Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
QC Kinetics announces the arrival of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, an acclaimed orthopedic surgeon with 2 decades of experience and extensive research in regenerative medicine.
But I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it. And at the same time, I integrated clinical research that's resulted in several publications that are really directing the future of regenerative medicine. I was drawn to QC Kinetics after I reviewed their protocols, and everything they were doing is consistent with my own approach.
Today, Dr. Shinecup leads the entire team of medical professionals at QC Kinetics, taking this exciting medical breakthrough to a whole new level.
What we are doing at QC Kinetics is transforming lives.
Get lasting joint pain relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Marcus is a connoisseur of anything that's free, so he was happy to read the disclaimer on TurboTax Free Edition.
Roughly 37% of taxpayers qualify. Form 1040 and limited credits only. See how at TurboTax.com. That's me.
File your taxes 100% free with TurboTax Free Edition and get your max refund guaranteed. See if you qualify to file for free at TurboTax.com. See max refund guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
Let's clear out winter and clean up the lawn with Spring Black Friday savings at the Home Depot. Right now, get the Ryobi One Plus leaf blower for just $89 and make your lawn work easier with a powerful 90 miles an hour of clearing power. Plus, you can buy it online and pick it up in store, getting you outside sooner. Get your yard spring ready with the Ryobi One Plus leaf blower, now just $89 during Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. See store at homedepot.com/delivery for details.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Lowe's knows pros need the right tools for every job. That's why we sell the largest in-store selection of Klein tools anywhere. Find new items like the self-leveling green laser level for just $159.98. Plus, shop the Connect pass-through socket set for $49.98, which you can only find at Lowe's. Shop Klein tools in-store and online today, because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stopped, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass? Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text DRAFT to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dollar an entire year. Off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text DRAFT to 200-300 right now. Text the word DRAFT to 200-300. Don't wait. Text DRAFT to 200-300.
The NFL is on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, it's the Morning Huddle. Already giving away our tickets to Heights Night. I still have a pair of NIOSA tickets. The argument's dead. We don't say NIOSA. We put that to sleep. It's night in old San Antonio. It's not neat. That's why it came out nigh. So just stop it. We will give those tickets away in, I'd say, about 45 minutes. 7:30. Just be here. Have your cup of coffee. Be ready to dial. You ready to dial, RJ?
No, I don't believe in dialing. When was the last time you dialed a phone number?
Dialed? Oh, not, fairly recently. But I didn't actually dial. I spoke it.
Ooh. Do you do the hey, call whoever? That's weird.
You don't?
No.
See, I have a commute, though. I spend a lot of time in my car on the phone, which I actually advise our listeners against. Don't do that. Listen to us. It's much more important. It's safer to just drive and listen. But I do spend a lot of time on the phone because of the time I'm in the car. My commute's a bit longer than others, so I use that time as office time. But that's neither here nor there. So
we have a Masters
I'm going
update,
to put
by
it
the
to
way.
you. Let's give a Masters update. What do we got?
Just, I mean, quickly, the first round will begin at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So
10:30. Okay.
That's where that delayed.
So
Sorry, go ahead.
9:30 a.m. our time. We will keep you abreast as the threesome that goes off at about 38. Is that what they're saying? 34. It's always some kind of weird
9:30.
number. So exactly, it's not 9:32.
No, not first pitch. Right.
I'm always kind of an ish kind of guy. I'm San Antonian. 9:30 ish.
Okay.
You know, just be near.
Yeah.
Which is a problem in radio. I'm going to put it to you. I'm just going to throw it out there. And looking at the mock drafts, it looks like one of the guys that I really like, and there's two winners out there. One, I don't know if he's got NFL stock, he might. And the other, I do think he does. And both of them might be available to the Cowboys in the first round. I'm just going to throw out that I like Michael Penix. I do. I think this cat has got that little extra to do something in the NFL. Bo Nix, he's a winner. I don't know anything other than that. But I'd be willing to risk a second, third rounder on Bo Nix. The guy's won so many football games. He's already a pro. He's like 30. Those two guys intrigue me. And as I saw Adam Schefter back away from that sleeper thing, and I saw haircuts prediction, I was like, you know what? Michael Penix was there. Steven might have to pin me against a wall too. Tell me not to draft him.
If the Cowboys draft a quarterback in the first round,
they'd show their aces, wouldn't they? They'd show their whole card. This is what we're doing.
On one hand, it would declare Dak is officially gone.
That's it.
That's true. On one hand, they would poop or get off the pot, however you view that to be. But on the other hand, they would confirm a perpetual misunderstanding of the way that this all works.
Maybe it's just erasing the board.
It's not erasing the board.
Starting
That's the
over,
problem.
shaking the snow globe, the Etch-a-Sketch. We're going to shake. I know that last one I drew the line wrong. I'm starting over.
Again, it isn't that though. Dak Prescott is on the books this year for $55 million.
Yeah.
Okay. He's on the books and I'm rounding down.
I know.
He's on the books next year for $40 million.
I'll extend it.
The whole purpose of establishing a roster around a quarterback on a rookie contract, which in your hypothetical Michael Penix or Bo Nix would be, is to maximize the flexibility from a cash spending standpoint.
I get you, RJ, but can't I be a Packer? Can't I mimic something that I saw happen and
Again,
it worked out kind of good? The team that beat me. I know, but I could draft the guy. Doesn't, as you are very fond of saying, wasn't one or both. Two things can be true at the same time.
Multiple things can be true.
And why not look at, you know what, for the good of both of us, I'm going to extend you, Dak, but just for a couple years.
Okay, so this is my problem with this. We're spending a premium resource on this. Number one, you're ignoring
the
a lot
premium
of
on the most premium need.
It isn't the most premium
Well,
need.
it will
at the
be
moment.
in 4 years when Dak's gone.
Okay, but again, so my two main issues with this are number one, you are contaminating your ability to build around, let's call him Michael Penix Jr., with regards to financial flexibility, because Dak Prescott's on your books for an exorbitant. You don't. That's what I'm telling you.
What do you mean?
I've explained this twice now. The rookie quarterback contract is 5 years long if you pick up their fifth-year option if they're a first-round draft pick.
That
so
could be long
with
gone in 5 years.
Again, this is year one, and Dak is on the books for $55 million. In year two, Dak is on the books for $40 million. So my point is you're contaminating 2 of the 5 years with money. Again, I'm saying because Dak is on the books, so you don't have that.
I watched
you
it
don't
happen
have
in Green
the
Bay.
financial.
They survived.
Again, the whole point behind getting a quarterback on a rookie deal is look at what the Texans
Not
are doing.
always.
Look
I
at what,
watched
look at what
Green
the
Bay
Commanders
do it.
are.
They survived.
Again, they're also a low spending team. You're
So
asking
am I,
you're
and
asking
they
what the pros and
survived.
cons are here. So if you want to chase the 1 out of 100, that's up to you. But if you want to maximize your odds of success, this is so that's issue number one. Issue number two is you said it. This is the most premium position, the most premium spot on the entire team. So say you want to draft Michael Penix Jr. In addition to hindering yourself financially, you're now choosing who the franchise quarterback is before you bring in the potential new head coach next year.
Yeah.
So you don't have your financial ducks in a row. You don't have your leadership ducks in a row. You have all these arrows pointing in different directions and all these things on different timelines. It continues to perpetuate a lack of coordination in the most important senses of your roster. And so that's the biggest issue here if you want to go with that. It's not, oh, Dak is on the final year of his deal, and if you don't bring him back, then he's gone forever.
I'm gonna extend him.
He's on the books for $40 million next year. That's a significant cap charge that you have to
But
deal
it's
with.
less than this year, and it'll be even less in year 3. And by that point, I'm going to know.
But by that point, you'll be in the third year of the quarterback's contract. And after that third year, that quarterback himself is eligible for an extension.
Right, and Dak will be gone, so I can take care of him then.
But you will have burned through some really valuable time.
Yes, but at some point, RJ, I got to make a move. And every move that
this move doesn't hold
But
water.
what would
It
be
isn't
the
logical.
right move? Because I could say, in your mind, it's drafted offensive line. Well,
if you really want to move on from Dak
answer.
Prescott and you want to know the right move in that world, you just have to eat it. You really just have to eat it right now. If you want the best world, the best Dakless world possible, you have to eat
draft
it this
a quarterback and eat it.
No, because again, you're hindering what you want is that 5-year window.
But I'm not gonna get that. So the perfect is the worst enemy of good, and the goodest thing I can do right now is if I truly want that, and I'm not saying you should. If there's a guy that you like at quarterback, eat it and do it is what I'm saying. And I kind of would go, if the Penix guy falls to me, I'm not going to go out of my way to go up and get him. But what I've seen is there, and he falls to me. My plan B here is, all right, let's light the fuse. If I get the quarterback, would be I'm going to light the fuse, and I'm going to stop waiting for the perfect storm, and I'm just going to pull the trigger and go, I'm pulling the quarterback, and Dak, congratulations, you're a free agent.
This is just talking out loud. This is ignoring a lot of data and a lot of realities where you, in doing that, would be ignoring positions of need that have been created by the lack of activity in free agency. You would be flying in the face of logic relative to the timelines involved here.
Just eating
and
the contract?
you would be tying your future head coach's arm behind his back before you've even interviewed anybody.
But I'd go get one that fit him. I could argue that'd be the right thing to do anyway.
Again, you are making this you're doing this in the most difficult way possible.
But at some point, RJ, every day we do this. At some point, the Cowboys got to shake the Etch-a-Sketch and go, you're right, everything we've done has been a failure. So the next couple of steps are going to be painful, but understand
if you want to
that.
shake the Etch-a-Sketch, that's fine. Then commit to that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Drafting a quarterback would commit.
The shaking takes time. If you can't shake it instantaneously. If you really want to shake the Etch-a-Sketch, then you have to go through the process of it all. Letting this money come off the books. And that's frustrating, but if you really, really, really want to move on from Dak, then you have to do it the right way so that you don't end up, if you're somebody who wants to move on from Dak, you likely feel that his current contract extension was a mistake. So don't make that mistake again. Learn from the mistake. Right. Allow the Etch-a-Sketch to fully clear and fully dissipate.
So how is that? Now, or I want to be clear, because I do want to do the right thing. Is it now?
If you want to pursue a path without Dak Prescott, then you have to allow this to ride itself out. You have to allow again. I wouldn't advocate for this, but if you want to go down that route, you definitely don't want to draft a quarterback. Certainly in the first round this year. You let Dak Prescott play out the year. You let him walk in free agency, go wherever he wants, and next year you sign some journeyman. We talked about Gardner Minshew yesterday.
Okay. So
you bring that guy in to serve as a caretaker while Dak is still on the books. And then for the 2026 season, you're now void of Dak. You have no financial obligations to him anymore whatsoever. That's when you bring in the new quarterback. So you can have a pure, clean 5-year window, hopefully with them on a rookie contract.
Will Cooper Manning be available then?
I think
how
definitely
long do I have
by
to wait
then,
for
but
Cooper?
I think he's eligible for the draft next year, but I don't know how much we're going to see him. So if you believe Quinn Ewers to be the man.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We'll get you caught up on where the Master sits on the other side. We're running late, but what a great segment. What should the Cowboys do? I'm starting to think that the craziest thing possible might be the thing that happens, because everything else has been the craziest thing possible. Masters in silver and black around the bend. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the 2024 NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
For the 24th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select
April 25th, 26th, and 27th. Join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft. Live from Detroit.
I love the tenacity and the aggression with which he plays. He is a mauler.
Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number one? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant?
the Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
You don't ever want to pass on the guy you ought to be taking there, but still be position
I
select.
thought Sauce Gardner would be the first corner, but you go back to 2019, and that version of Derek Stingley is as good as anybody in this entire draft class.
Find out right here on your exclusive home for the NFL Draft. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Train heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Heart Royal Flush Tour 2024. May 1st, Frostbank Center. A journey through the hits and timeless classics. The iconic band returns with special guest Cheap Trick. Tickets on sale now at heart-music.com. Don't miss 2 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. Heart with Cheap Trick live.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collisions since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Hard work, dedication, and dreams. These are the keystones of success. But easily filing your taxes with TurboTax and Credit Karma doesn't hurt either. And getting your max refund guarantee definitely doesn't hurt. But let others think your taxes when in reality it was a walk in the park. No, you literally filed while walking your dog in the park. Winner! Because some key info is pre-filled for you so you can file quickly and confidently like the boss that you are. So give yourself the peace of mind that comes with getting expert help, because you're going places. Let's go! And make tax season feel like it's award season with easy filing. Yeah! Know that you're backed by the leading tax preparer, TurboTax, and we'll show you all your filing options up front, so there are no surprises. Feel accomplished and confident that your taxes are done right. File an Intuit Credit Karma today. Yeah! Expert help not available with all products. Guarantee details available at turbotax.com/guarantees.
Folks, quality is a huge deal. It's what I look for when I recommend something to my listeners. It means you can depend on it. Quality means it won't let you down. It's something you can be proud of. Well, that's the definition of a Kinetico water softener. With other water softener brands, you just never know. Maybe they work half the time or they're just plain junk. A Kinetico water softener is up to 80% more efficient than competing models and will be the last water softener you'll ever own. That's because you're buying quality, and it's backed up with an outstanding 10-year warranty, too. If you're ready to enjoy all the benefits that come with quality, bring home a Kinetico water softener. Call the team at Kinetico at 656-PURE or online at KineticoSA.com. That's 656-PURE or KineticoSA.com. And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE. Kinetico.
He's a former coach with two sons who played professional basketball. Satch Sullinger's a competitive individual, but his golf game was suffering because of painful joints.
Right. That's real important. The golf game. Right. As we get older, we create these bad habits because we're relegated to hit a certain way.
QC Kinetics used regenerative treatments, all natural healing properties from Satch's own body, to restore those damaged joints and get his golf game back on track.
QC Kinetics regenerative medicine is regenerating me, all natural. And that's what I'm about. I'm going to tell everybody why I'm better.
Oh, and by the way, looks like the competitive Satch is back.
We're all in the same boat, and I'm getting better, and I'm watching them stay old.
Go to QCkinetics.com. Get relief and your game back. Call for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Spurs sank last night. No Wemby, no win in Oklahoma City. They have just a few more opportunities to break away from the worst of all time. What can they do for Wemby? What can they do for themselves? That's coming up next in Silver and Black. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is the Morning Huddle with Robin RJ. Morning 6 to 10, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Marcus is a connoisseur of anything that's free, so he was happy to read the disclaimer on TurboTax Free Edition.
Roughly 37% of taxpayers qualify. Form 1040 and limited credits only. See how at TurboTax.com. That's me.
File your taxes 100% free with TurboTax Free Edition and get your max refund guaranteed. See if you qualify to file for free at TurboTax.com. See max refund guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
Let's clear out winter and clean up the lawn with Spring Black Friday savings at the Home Depot. Right now, get the Ryobi One Plus leaf blower for just $89 and make your lawn work easier with a powerful 90 miles an hour of clearing power. Plus, you can buy it online and pick it up in store, getting you outside sooner. Get your yard spring ready with the Ryobi One Plus leaf blower, now just $89 during Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. See store at homedepot.com/delivery for details.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin up just soft on the party, this is more, so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The grip is always soft. It's our party vibe. She's crushing and things so our chicks feel fine. So what? Everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at TSAOG.com.
Texas weather this time of year means storms, wind, rain, and hail. If you were hit with the recent storms and you think you have roof damage, don't make the situation worse by putting your faith in one of those out-of-town storm chasers. Work with a local roofing company with years of experience. Work with a company whose people live in our area and deal with the same weather we do. That's Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994. Or you can get them online at stevensroofing.net. Buy local, stay local, trust local with Stevens Roofing.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high temperature performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through April 23rd, get a $15 gift card when you buy 5 or more quarts of Edge or Edge High Mileage Full Synthetic, only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Claim based on Sequence 3 H test versus API SP test limits.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin Ultra Soft on the party, this is more, so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The grip is always soft. It's our party vibe. It's cushioning things so our cheeks feel flat. So what? Everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
94.1 FM. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The San Antonio Spurs limp out of Oklahoma City after a thorough thrashing. While they went without Wemby, they lost 127-89. Zach Collins led the way with 20 points. In other NBA news, a potential Spur ain't going to be one. Drew Holiday was going to be a free agent. Now he's a long-term Celtic, signed a 4-year, $135 million extension last night. Astros fell to the Royals.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Wembanyama three. Goes behind the back here. Oh! Little sidestep and a jam by Wembanyama. Drive.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hey, huddle up. We're running late. It's the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. That's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. We're glad you're here on a small Friday. And, man, don't we all need it? The eclipse took a lot out of me. It's been a long week. The Spurs got beat down last night. Wemby got to watch. You want to prove your value, stand and watch for a little while, see how they manage. And they didn't manage well. It was out of hand early. I don't know what to say about last night.
Houston pretty well known, and they got rocked last night. So
yeah, KC.
It was just it was a sports suck kind of day. And that's never fun to experience or to go through. And I think that was the price we had to pay. That was the universe balancing out after we hit 20 wins the other night. You gotta eat it once or twice along the way.
I think my most pleasant surprise was the blowout that Devontae had from one game to the next. I think he should leave his hair out, man. He looked good last night. If you ain't gonna play good, you might as well look good. Devontae Graham took out the braids and blew it out last night. Looked good. That's about all that I could say about what we're witnessing last night. You know, it was what, less than a day before, I was just reveling in the glory that is Wemby, and in my mind, nothing showed his value more than that night. If you wanted to, I think the Memphis game proved an all NBA quality to his game. I mean, he only had 18 points, but nearly another Wemby, another 5-by-5 almost. But without him, against a team that is, you know, fighting to stay even. And then post game, man, oh man, did you notice? Spurs fans, you got to be. If Oklahoma City makes a run, if they win a couple of games, the whole mimicking the Oklahoma City Thunder is going to be put in stone, man. This process, I don't care how good Wemby got and how fast he got there. The wheels turn slowly in Spurs land. It's hard to turn a battleship. Do we need any other analogies? Listen to Pop post game talking about being up in Oklahoma City and the plan for Wemby.
Overall, you know, the organization has done a fantastic job. Sam Presti is special. You know, the work he does is brilliant, and the entire coaching staff is committed, organized, makes people accountable, creative. The players are talented, but that's not enough. They're disciplined. Their camaraderie is special. They've grown into this, as you said, the rebuild. After a few years, you know, it's obvious. And Gilly says he's an MVP candidate. There's nothing else you can say about it. When you've got that, it's your responsibility to build around it, and they've done it. So they deserve a lot of credit.
Wow, that was Pop, not post, pregame, before they whipped our ass. So let's go. Let's look at the flower words that were uttered in that little short sentence. Brilliant, committed, organized, creative, talented, disciplined, special, camaraderie, building around their all-star. Holy cow. Slow down to fast forward, everybody. We ain't fast forwarding crap. We are in the midst of a process, which is fine, especially if OKC does go on a run.
No, that's not fine.
Well,
I mean,
as long as Wemby's down with it, I'm down with it.
Why would you be down? No one is saying you can't, you know, do some of these things, but to willingly slow yourself down in some capacities in the name of this tank job process experience
we say
your
slow
nose off
down.
to spite your face.
Well, I say slow down. They're saying we're staying the course. I think we're all saying you better Wendy and his socialist gathering of writers, the Hoop Collective. They're all saying you better fast forward. This whole waiting around and using your draft picks and growing into the system and becoming organized and talented and disciplined and camaraderie and all the other things that make greatness, you better speed the process. But I don't think the process has ever been fast forwarded. I think that we were fed a line. I think Wemby is going to just have to sit back and watch a slow growth, watch the vines slowly climb the fence. Because I didn't buy this. If you're emulating this, there ain't no fast forward here.
There's just no guarantee that works. And there's no guarantee anything works, to be very clear. I'm not like, oh, you're clearly denying the foolproof strategy. But you introduce and invite so many unknowns when you do this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's scary.
Pick a year. Like pick a year that we think the Spurs may think that they're ready. Let's call it 2026.
I
right?
think in their heart of hearts, in 2026, they're going to look a lot like the Timberwolves.
Okay, so let's say they really believe their kind of dynasty run can begin in 2027.
Mm-hmm.
Let's call it that, right? 2027 is like 14 years from now.
It feels like it, right?
Yeah, right. Okay, so but let's just use that number for conversation's sake. What on earth can happen in 2027? Like, again, that is technically 3 years from now. It's very possible that 3 years ago In fact, it's more likely than not that even the most ardent NBA fan didn't even know who Victor Wembanyama was 3 years ago. Right?
No, not 3 years. 2 years. No, 3 years ago there was some things in the wind.
Well, there were things in the wind if you're an NBA sicko, but if you're a casual, whatever, there's a lot. My point is, there's a lot of people who know who he is now that didn't know who he was 3 years
Actually, it was
ago.
about 4 years ago that it wasn't Wemby everybody was talking about. It was Holmgren. He made an Under Armour camp and he dunked on Steph Curry, and we were like, "Who is this tall cat?" So those guys were in the wind. So that's who we're talking about. These
look at it in
sophomores
NBA terms,
in high school.
But look at it in NBA terms. 3 years ago, finals was Bucks Suns, right? And if you had asked the Suns after they lost the finals, they would have said, "We in 3 years we absolutely have a
We'll have
title.
two.
We'll absolutely have one." You have no, and all of a sudden now the future of the West for the Suns looks bleak, right? Like the Nuggets have arrived, the Timberwolves, as you mentioned, have arrived or are starting to arrive.
But okay,
Wemby is on the
would
rise.
you
You have no idea what can change around you. Let
I
alone
agree.
if your own process will work.
But the Spurs and now Oklahoma City, and to some extent, though never actually completed, the Celtics, all of these teams have gone through a bit of transition, but they've all had a plan in place that you understood that this is where we are today. And in 3 years, this is where we plan on being. I get where they have gone. And Oklahoma City is a great example, but I've always stood by fortune favors the bold, man. You only have a brief amount of time of anything. And to expect anything great to last, I know it's a glass half empty kind of thing, but that's how you have to approach sports. You can't count on health. You can't count on talent. You can't count on sanity. You can't count on a family. There's so many things that you can't count on that if you're not planning on winning it as fast as possible, you're doing yourself a disservice. And I get that building a good foundation of slow build and guys that are going to be around, and that worked for a while. But I think in that sense, Wendy and the collective are right that the time clock on greatness and franchise achievement is shorter now than it was before. It just is. You don't get long-term stuff. It's easier to move. Stars have available money and things that they didn't have 20 years ago. So we're not going to get a 20-year run. We got about 8 years, I look at it. 8 years from beginning to end of this. And we're at year one.
You would love for it to be more than that, but I think if you're budgeting, that's a really good number to pick, right? Like, and if you wind up missing, and you're way under, great. But to the kind of point, to use our 3-year sort of data set, 3 years after Andrew Luck's rookie season was 2015. That was technically his 4th season in the NFL. He retired in August of 2019.
Exactly.
Right? Like you have, to your point, like you can't count on anything. And so would it be ideal, Spurs to assemble a nucleus of talent that could all play together for 15 years throughout this whole Wemby run? Duh, absolutely. Nobody is denying that. We would all sign up for that if you could guarantee it, but you are trying to build the least stable, massive tower instead of just building several big buildings, and that you have to keep taking shot after shot after shot after shot. I mean, and I'll bring up the Suns as an example. They keep taking shots, and it hasn't worked out for them. And if you're a Suns fan, that's unfortunate. But if I was a Suns fan, I would feel like, hey, man, respect.
You're
close, and you're swinging, and it's just not working out for you in that sports. But at least you're not sitting back. You are constantly trying to go for it each and every year. And not doing that when you have, I don't know, what the 5th best player in the world on your team is malpractice. It's ridiculous to suggest that. So that's why Pop's words yesterday were pretty terrifying, especially because they would then go on to get destroyed by the team in question.
You look at what the contract structure looks next year.
Do you think they? I'm sorry. Do you think they threw the game to prove, like, hey, look, this process, y'all need to recognize.
There was certainly some, and Presty's part of the fam. He is. I mean, he's from here. We know him. We knew him when. So I get the love affair that was, and I also get the idea of the long-term strategic, monolithic growth of a great and talented and franchise. Heck, I watched it happen, but I also watched it decline, and I saw the reasons it did. And I just know that 20 years is now 8 in the modern world. What's it called? Moore's Law, where every 7 years technology doubles or triples or whatever it might be. I think that's you just don't have as much time anymore. And when I watch what Oklahoma City did, and keep in mind the key to the Oklahoma City growth was what did Shea Gilgeous land at? He was a 12th pick, wasn't he? He was no one thought Shea Gilgeous was all NBA when they drafted him. He had the potential. The Clippers obviously didn't. I mean, he had the potential along with 100 other dudes. So they got lucky. And then they got better fast. Well, guess what? Spurs got lucky sooner.
If you're counting on luck, hope is
11.
not a strategy are the infamous words. And if it took luck and hope to land Wemby. How many times is that going to happen? How many times do you need fate to smile upon you for you to get off the couch? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like and you did it one way in the most impressive way. Respect. The times have changed. You have to adapt and adjust.
So how do you do it? So first things first, this draft, it does matter. It's a crappy draft, but you're going to have to find somebody who can play pretty quick. That the piece that player provides has to be useful quick. But the free agency and the trade market has to be employed. You've got to go and spend money, and you're going to have to move some of the chess pieces that are on our side of the board. And you look at the roster and who's movable and who's not, and who has contracts they're going to play pretty now and play pretty later and be good value. Boy, that Keldon contract looks eminently movable. $17 million in 2026, dude. I have issues with him, but that's a bargain. That's a movable deal. Even Devin, he maxes out in 28 at $27 million. That is a bargain. There are pieces that can be moved. You've got eminently tradable value, and you don't have time. Not like we used to.
And this sounds really harsh, and it's actually sad that it's the truth and it's the reality, but it's the reality of professional sports, and it's the curse of landing a generational player and a generational talent. You don't have time to be loyal. You don't. You simply do not. I think who's the most dynasty across professional sports right now? The Chiefs?
Right now, it's the Chiefs.
Yeah. Okay. So the Chiefs said, Tyreek Hill, we'll move on.
Go.
We will move on. All these other there are 3 players that have been a part of this 3-year run, or this 3 Super Bowl run for them. It's like a 6-year run at this point, but they're Patrick Mahomes, who's the most important, right? He's your Wemby, Travis Kelce,
and Jones.
and Chris Jones.
Yeah.
That's it. They have held no loyalties to staffers or anything like that, and they are willing to. This is not even apples to oranges. This is like apples to thumbtacks. This is a very different thing. But think about it. They traded Tyreek Hill. They traded the thing that seemingly made the best player the best version of himself. And they said, we're willing to think about this differently. We're willing to do this in a completely different way and trust that, I don't want to call it zigging where everybody zags, but we're willing to trust our line of thinking and our best players to be what carries us in the name of taking swings elsewhere. And it worked out. You have to be aggressive. You cannot just assume that it's going to fall in line for you every single year.
The schedule, again, concludes on Sunday. And I think there's, keeping Victor out last night, obviously, I think he was tired. That was one of those, I don't care who we were playing. I think he'd have taken the night off after the night before travel. But, him not being in there against Chet, and Chet really wasn't a difference maker last night. I'm seeing all of I'm just going to say it again. I'm all about Sunday. I know it's nuts. Go get the Austin Spurs. How many of those guys can we play at one time? Can we bring up 4 of them?
This is a weird obsession of yours.
It is. But what I witnessed last night was just this exhibition of it wasn't even Vegas Summer League. It was Utah Southwestern Rookie Review the last couple of nights, both us and Memphis. I put it to you to prove Wemby's value if I'm Pop. So you know what? We're going to put Wemby out there with a bunch of G League dudes, and you want to see the difference? We're going to go beat Detroit with them.
I think the actual display of his value was we're going to put a bunch of G League dudes out there without him, and watch what happened. That's what happened last night. I mean,
wow.
You know, that's a better way to exemplify his value.
There is nothing that was redeeming from last night. Nothing.
No,
I didn't even watch. I'm not gonna. I watched real basketball last night.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, are you familiar with the Factory of Sadness YouTube video that a Cleveland Browns fan filmed in 2007?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that day that the Browns lost, I don't remember who they lost to, but that day there was this incredible game between the Chargers and Packers at Lambeau Field. And so in this Browns fan's diatribe, everything he's screaming and hollering, he says, "Did you watch that Chargers Packers game?" He says, "It's like they're playing a different sport."
It's right.
And that's like going from the Spurs Thunder game last night to Nuggets Timberwolves. It was like, wow. It was going from like, you know, Wurzbach, you know, to an F1 race. I mean, it was just like, whoa, this
is what it's like. And the sad thing is, we know as Spurs fans what it's like. And it makes it even worse because we lived it for so long. To wake up in the middle of April and know tonight matters. Tonight means something. We haven't had that.
That they're going to make us resent the dynasty because they're holding on to it too much. The dynasty right now might be the worst thing that ever happened to the current Spurs front office.
It always
I mean, it's a long time ago. Ari Temkin had a theory that he told me that he thought Dane Bailey was the worst thing that ever happened to Jason Garrett because he was so good and he was so reliable that it kind of forced this conservatism upon him. And in a weird way, the dynasty has forced the just
trust the process and Pop we trust. What happened before will happen again.
It's reinforced the need to recreate it and to go through it the exact same way. I mean, we're all busting out the old Letterman jackets and wearing them. And like, if we just go back, you know, Rob, you bring the 6-pack, you know, I'll bring the jungle juice and it'll be just like old times. I mean, you know, let's just do it, man. Let's just go live it large. Come on.
We can do it again. We'll get the gang back together. It'll be great. Hey,
it'll be the same.
We promised our morning brigade some tickets. Let's give them away. There are tickets to the NIOSA that's coming just around the corner. You can use on any evening. I got a pair of them, and those are valuable, baby. No long lines. Just step right up, get that wristband, and go get an Anacucho on us. 656-3776. The ticket's on us, not the Anacucho. 656-3776. 65 but Espen to you and me. Caller number 9. We'll be going to check out the NIOSA on us, and we got these tickets all week long. Hey, I was just checking out our group text last night. Joe bought in on that 6K Wednesday at the Big Blind, and evidently, man, I haven't seen it since construction. And to hear the way they talked about it, that must be some kind of palace sitting over there next to the Rue Pub. Joe lost it all. He gave his money to the gods.
Oh, and then he sent a really depressed text.
He did. It was like I'm out. Yeah. But after the weekends that guy's had in Vegas, you know, there's a yin and the yang to the universe. We're going to continue talking Spurs all day long. We do want to hear from you. Mimicking the Oklahoma City way, is that the way to go? Because it has worked in the past, and it appears to be working for them now. But should that time clock be applied to them? Hey, coming back with the Cowboys, Adam Schefter is doing the moonwalk. Why? And how did we get here? Let's talk about the Cowboys and quarterbacks. That sounds like a bar down in Nashville. Cowboys and quarterbacks. Luke Bryan performing tonight. We'll be right back on the Morning Huddle. 94.1.
San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
She got a 10-year-old vet, but really these convertibles bring more when they're automatics. And why? Do you know why, Dave?
So the women can drive them, yes, sir.
There you go. So the women can drive. Not that a woman can't drive a stick. It's just not comfortable. Is that misogynistic?
Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me?
Really?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Misogyny.
Yeah. Well,
I'll call you Eminem.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Are you ready to party with a purpose? Taste of the Northside is Thursday, April 18th at the beautiful Security Service Event Center. This elevated fiesta event for foodies includes on-site covered parking, entertainment, unlimited tastings from over 30 premier restaurants, countless curated wines and craft beers, hosted by Brighton Center, presented by HEB. Purchase tickets at tasteofthenorthside.org. Proceeds benefit Brighton Center, the largest nonprofit in San Antonio serving children with disabilities through pediatric therapy and education initiatives.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-707-6152. 800-707-6152. 800-707-6152.
Diamonds Direct Spring Sale starts this weekend. Get 20% off rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. It's the best store-wide sale of the season. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. That's right, 20% savings plus an extra $100 off. Also enjoy an expanded selection of the latest style with designer appearances each weekend. Tons of engagement rings on sale too. 20% off starts Friday and open this Sunday as well. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Hard work, dedication, and dreams. These are the keystones of success. But easily filing your taxes with TurboTax and Credit Karma doesn't hurt either. And getting your max refund guarantee definitely doesn't hurt. But let others think you did a lot of hard work to file your taxes when in reality, it was a walk in the park. No, you literally filed while walking your dog in the park. Winner! Because some key info is pre-filled for you so you can file quickly and confidently like the boss that you are. So give yourself the peace of mind that comes with getting expert help. Because you're going places. Let's go. And make tax season feel like it's award season with easy filing. Yeah! Know that you're backed by the leading tax preparer, TurboTax, and we'll show you all your filing options up front, so there are no surprises. Feel accomplished and confident that your taxes are done right. File an Intuit Credit Karma today. Ah, yeah. Expert help not available with all products. Guarantee details available at turbotax.com/guarantees.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text DRAFT to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text DRAFT to 200-300 right now. Text the word DRAFT to 200-300. Don't wait, text DRAFT to 200-300.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open. With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Roo Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
San Antonio's sports star. Wake up with the Morning Huddle.
Hey, huddle up. Happy Thursday. Use RJ, I'm Rob. We'll do our best to get you where you're going. Don't mind them brake lights. A little chilly out this morning. That's surprising me. I'm waiting for the pool to heat up. I'm full in on spring. We gave away some
You
NIOSA
said you have some new
tickets.
trunks this year.
I do. I have the kind with the non-chafing liner now. It's
the white net.
No, that white
the
net was a crime against humanity. A woman invented that.
That's nobody needs that.
Nobody needed it. Thank God that little chafing. It's like putting a cheese grater down there. That was that.
Or a spider web.
That's something. Well, the spider web at least was soft.
How do you know?
Because I've walked through many a spider web. We all have. I mean, it's just on you. You just feel it. It doesn't it just sticks. Oh, by the way, it is the flea and tick season. So if you are running through, I found a tick on the dog yesterday, which creates panic throughout the house.
Thanks.
My wife's a teacher, a retired teacher, and she'd come home and when the moment she got in and she's like stripping her clothes off, and I'm thinking, all right. And then as she's heading to boil her clothing, I'm like, we had lice today. Whoa.
Boil the clothing.
I mean, I'm all about it.
Okay.
The Cowboys, the Adam Schefter yesterday. Was it yesterday or Tuesday? What day did Adam Schefter? Oh, it's Tuesday. Adam Schefter on the four-letter came out and told us that the Cowboys, in his words, were a sleeper to draft a quarterback. He didn't say when. He just said a sleeper to draft a quarterback. And that was the equivalent of driving down the California highway in the middle of July with the Santa Anas blowing and throwing a lit cigarette into a field because the wildfires started, baby. If they do, oh my God. Oh, if they do, oh my goodness. And 2 days later, he backtracked a little bit.
So Adam Schefter, that you said this was on Tuesday, came out yesterday on Wednesday.
And one day later, he goes, well,
it was almost verbatim. Whoa, Miss Lippy. I don't like the part of the story where he just abandons the puppy. You got a pet. You got responsibilities. And Adam Schefter was like, whoa.
I'm
just
just
because
saying.
I said this.
Those are just words.
Doesn't mean it's. Look, I know that I am the foremost NFL insider. I know that what I say, whether it be in print, on the internet, or in an article, or in an NFL Live hit, is very often propaganda for one cause or another.
So why do you think now let's play. I'm putting on my black hat. If you want to make sure, watch us on our feed.
No. All right.
The black hat is on.
You look like you're coaching for Odessa Premier.
I do,
right
don't
now.
I? Clear eyes and full hearts can't lose, gentlemen.
If you want to put on your tinfoil hat,
well, that's always on.
Well, maybe this was somebody was like, "Hey, chill out." Somebody said, "Hey, relax." Somebody said, "Hey, whatever." But I think what happened, and again, to cry foul about this when the Cowboys service kind of basic programming for ESPN, it's just hilarious. But what I think happened is he said this, and in the moment underestimated the chaos storm it would
But
create.
he should have. This is Cowboy land, man. We are ready for the wildfire, just waiting for a spark. And he gave it to us. And here's the crazy thing. To say that any team is in the market to draft a quarterback should be de rigueur. Well, of course they are. Every team should be. I heard, listen to the Blitz yesterday, and I felt it was perfect analogy. And I think you brought it up too. San Francisco is always in the market for a quarterback. If they weren't, they wouldn't have Brock Purdy. He was high drafted. They were hey, that guy's got some talent. What the hell? Why wouldn't the Cowboys be a sleeper for a quarterback, whether Dak is here or not? And that's the weird thing about the story to me.
You should always be drafting a
quarterback. Always. And not
which
just
why,
fifth-rounder training camp bodies. If you think the guy has a glimmer of hope, all things even, now certainly you fill needs, but if apples to apples, oranges to oranges in the third round, you see a dude that can cook, why not? That's where great teams come from, but it has to be not to the detriment of other things. I will be the first to say, but the great teams always have an eye toward that. Always.
The Cowboys have not drafted a lot of quarterbacks in the Dak Prescott era. So Cooper Rush was not a draft pick, but they did sign him an undrafted free agency in 2017, if you want to count him, and he earned his roster spot. He beat out Kellen Moore and sent him into the coaching profession. In 2018, the Cowboys spent a 5th-round draft pick on Mike White, not the creator of White Lotus. He was also a Survivor contestant. I know that you haven't watched that show yet.
I have watched the first episode.
Well, whatever. But so they drafted Mike White in the 5th round in 2018 out of Western Kentucky. And then they drafted Ben DiNucci in the 7th round of 2020 out of JMU.
So those are training camp bodies. I don't count anything past the 5th round.
That's what I'm. But that's what I'm advocating. You should not be spending a top 100 pick on a quarterback every year.
No,
you should absolutely be throwing a day 3, 5th, 6th, 7th round pick at dudes. You're just throwing darts, man. You're just trying to hit. Consider that the aforementioned Mike White, not the creator or producer, but the NFL quarterback, has had kind of a sneaky, cute NFL career. He had that, 5 minutes with the New York Jets that was super awesome, in the middle of the Zach Wilson drama, obviously pre-Aaron Rodgers. And he developed this kind of rabid cult following. And now he's in Miami. Like, he has carved out a career as a backup quarterback. That's what you want. We talked about yesterday, how do you, who's the new Ryan Fitzpatrick? Who's the new, NFL journeyman guy? Gardner Minshew is an undrafted free agent. That's the dude you're looking for. You're looking for these kind of cast-offs that can be, 5-minute type of guys at a moment's notice. And so those are the darts you need to be throwing every single year, even if Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes are your quarterback.
And I refer you back, everybody with us now. If you weren't with us an hour ago, go to the website, go to SA Sports Star and check the audio vault. We had a great discussion as to, the existential question isn't whether the Cowboys should be looking at a quarterback, is what are you going to do with your current quarterback, and how does that affect what you're doing now, and what are you going to do later? And I threw out there, okay, tell me if by the Cowboys' actions, and that's all I can judge, is their actions, they're not all that pleased with Dak, and if given the opportunity, would kind of separate themselves from it. I'm not saying they want to, but they feel like if the opportunity came and it wasn't too painful, they would wave goodbye. I just get that sense. I think their actions are telling me one thing and their words tell me another. But I also know the finances of this. But if that's the case, if they would like to extricate themselves, and the best way to do it is to extend them for a couple years and bite the salary cap when it hits 30 instead of 55, and that's what, 3 years. That's the only way forward.
If they want to extricate themselves, then I don't know why you think that an extension would do that.
Well, I'm just talking about the easiest way to do that without, there's not a good option here. It's the best bad option.
There are two options here that you've got to pick a way you feel. Either you want to extend Dak, which means you want him back. Some people feel that way. Some people don't. Or you want to move on.
See, I'm of the camp to move on. I'm ready to do something new. But I understand we can't do that this year.
Let's follow that. Okay, that's fine. Then you want to know. Okay, I want to move on. How do I do that? Okay, you let this year ride out.
Right,
you're paying him. He's on your
so
books.
Even if a quarterback I think could help me in a couple years, like a Penix that is there, don't do that.
You need to move on. And you need to not contaminate the future because you're already in right now. You got to get out of this water and dry off before you can do anything else. So you've got to let this year ride out. Hopefully you win the Super Bowl and cool, whatever. That's a future problem. Whatever. Fine. You let this year play itself out. You don't find your future dude next year. Next year, because Dak is on the books for $40 million. He's taking up $40 million of salary cap space with his contract that you don't want to touch because you want to move on. You want to extricate. Okay, that's the world we're living in right now. So next year, you find a journeyman, you find a placeholder, you find somebody to just drive the bus. And everyone thinks the Cowboys are tanking this year. Next year is the tank year. Next year's the year where you have the bus driver, you don't do anything, you establish whatever, blah, 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 and you let 2025 write itself out. Now we're in 2026. Dak Prescott is no longer on the books. Now you can bring in a quarterback, hopefully on a cheap rookie contract. And because he's on a cheap rookie contract, you can use all of the salary cap space that you've created by this point in time to really kind of, soup your roster up. Now, at this point in time, it's worth mentioning, even though you wanted to extricate things and we followed the path that you said then in that particular moment, CeeDee Lamb is getting set to enter his 7th season in the NFL. Micah Parsons is getting set to enter his 6th season in the NFL.
I just want to talk quarterback.
So
we muddle the subject. I just want to talk quarterback now. I'm seriously. I mean, I know that I'm going to have to sign those other cats. That's going to happen.
That's all part of the equation.
So tell me when I should draft a quarterback.
2026.
2026. So I have to look at who's going to be a junior. Right? If I'm looking forward.
At the earliest, yeah. Unless any kind of rules change, obviously.
I don't think the NFL is going to change that. So junior year. So we're looking at freshman year last year. So sophomores this year.
Right.
Right? If we're looking at quarterbacks.
No, they could be freshmen this year.
Incoming freshmen this year.
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking down the list.
That's the best way to go about establishing a future around the next quarterback if it's not Dak Prescott.
Well, seems like we're going to have a perfect melding here. No, I'm looking.
This is what you
and if the map is the what I'm Austin.
Okay, I mean, so
is Jerry planning on drafting him a Manning?
I don't know. Well, I mean, it's possible. I mean, he's about to play some SEC football. He'll have an opportunity to impress, but that's the best way to go about moving on. It isn't Trey Lance. It isn't Michael Penix Jr. because you're just going to stay in the same kind of stuck because Dak Prescott is still on the books. You have to accept, if you want to move on, that this is the best way to do it. You have to do a juice cleanse right now, Rob. And that's the part that you're unwilling to do. You're like, I don't want to do that. I just want to be purified and the weight to be gone. No, you have to do the cleanse. That's what if you want to move on, it's going to be painful for all the people who say, I want to move on. Okay, time to put your money where your mouth is. You got to be willing to wait till 2026 just to buy the lotto ticket.
Now, I know you are, you see what they're doing. What do you think in your heart of hearts? Truthfully, I know that it feels like they're blindfolded running around in the dark, but in your heart of hearts, what do you believe their plan is? And you know they've got something in mind. What is it?
Now you're asking for a prediction.
I'm asking you for a prediction from what you've seen. What do you think they're doing by their inactivity so far?
Personal prediction. I've said many times already this offseason. I don't think that they really care to do anything, which is why we've seen the inactivity. But I think, again, this is my personal prediction that before the Cowboys break training camp in Oxnard, Dak has a new extension.
Okay,
and they are gonna blink in every way. He is gonna win in every way.
So 8-year extension for $400 million kind of deal.
Okay, I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, but $60 million is probably the number they're going to land at, don't you figure?
I had a conversation with Lindsay Rhodes, who's a great member of NFL Media that's up on the Blog on the Boys YouTube channel, and she made a point. We were talking about, so rewind the clock 4 years. In 2020, Dak Prescott was coming off of the year where he was franchise tagged. He literally shattered his ankle. I mean, he played in 5 games, and they still paid him.
Well, they
gave him the biggest signing bonus at the time in NFL history. They gave him what is still the richest contract in Dallas Cowboys franchise history when he was coming off of a potentially career-altering injury, when they had actual leverage in terms of ground to stand on for reasons to not pay him. It would have been really, cold, but it's the reality of the business, and they still paid him. So if they paid him, if they blinked then, when he was coming off the injury and they had no idea what he was going to look like, I mean, they are going to blink.
If
and
they believe in him, it's not
they are
blinking.
prolonging it. They think that doing this convince him to take less, and they cannot. And that is the crux of the lesson they have to learn for the future. Whatever that is, whether it does or does not involve Dak Prescott, you have to get ahead of these deals. Waiting only drags the price upward, and we're seeing that play itself out with CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons as well.
Will they, real quick, will they be signed by the time Dak signs that deal, or are they going to be franchised and waiting?
I think CeeDee probably gets done first. I think CeeDee's probably the first one to get done, maybe even before camp. That's just a prediction. and then Dak gets done while they're at camp. They celebrate. Dak's birthday always happens. I mean, we know, obviously, we're there and whatever. But Micah has he has the most sand left in his hourglass as far as, time. And it would still be wise, to be clear, to get it done as soon as possible. But he has the most time left for them to prolong and procrastinate and kick the can down the road.
The players are on the driving range, getting loose, ready to go. The Masters about to begin, and the rain delay will get you caught up and ready. It's Masters Thursday. Act appropriately. We'll be right back. It's the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Twin Peaks is going to be waiting on you today. You want to spend the Masters the right way? Head over for lunch and have a nice viewing session of the Masters, a tradition like you need to celebrate at Twin Peaks. Go get yourself one of those great lunch specials. Get yourself a tall glass of iced tea, wink, wink, you know what I mean, and enjoy a good lunch. And if you don't want to stay there all day, of course, watch all the Masters and everything else you want to watch and come back later for the afternoon happy hour and the close down happy hour as well. Kitchen's going to be open all day, and all three locations are waiting on you. Head over to 151 De Zavala and I-10 right there at Loopland, and the fourth and brand new one over on IKEA Lane on the northeast side. Head over today. There's no better way to skip out and have yourself a businessman's afternoon for a Masters Day is Twin Peaks. Either one of the four waiting on you. Eats are spectacular. Drinks always icy cold, but we know why we're going. It's those scenic views.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, we have got a star-studded show for you, including Ice Cube.
Ice Cube from the Big Three is going to join us on the Blitz. So will Nancy Lieberman. It's going to be a fantastic day talking Big Three basketball. Plus, we'll talk NFL with John McClain at 5:15. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem. And it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. It's America's #1 sports fantasy act. 3 million players. Yes, I'm a member. You should be too. Download it now and remember the code Alamo, and you can get a deposit match of up to $100. Basketball is balling, baby. Football is coming. Baseball is swinging. It is time to go to Prize Picks because you put your fantasy knowledge into action. You know more. You know your less. You know who's better or not. You know what's going on. You're a fantasy player. Put that knowledge to work. I have, along with so many others. And right now, remember the code Alamo, and you can get a $100 deposit match right now. Go download Prize Picks. We love watching Connor McDavid, Jude Bellingham, LeBron James. They are playing go more or less. It's so easy to do, and now's the time to go. You know when it's more, you know when it's less, and when you pair them together, you can win big, big bucks, up to 100 times your money. More, less, Prize Picks, Alamo. Go there.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collision since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
Heart Royal Flush Tour 2024. May 1st, Frostbank Center. A journey through the hits and timeless classics. The iconic band returns with special guest Cheap Trick. Tickets on sale now at heart-music.com. Don't miss 2 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. Heart with Cheap Trick live.
Have you gotten your hands on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB yet? Southern Recipe small batch offers big, bold flavors like hot honey, spicy dill, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Bonus, you're going to love the low-carb, high-protein crunch. Turn snack time from ordinary to extraordinary with flavorful pork rinds. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB today.
Hey, it's Jim Rome, and it's great to be back in San Antonio. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Well, we got a slight rain delay this morning, but it appears they're getting ready to tee off there at Augusta. Ready for this? Popcorn popped. Pimento cheese is made. Last call for alcohol.
Do you want to know something interesting about the Masters?
No.
This is from Bleacher Report's morning newsletter. According to ESPN, the 3rd most bets and the 5th most money is on Tiger Woods to win, despite the fact that he is 80-1 odds. This is one of those, like, I don't watch golf ever. I just watch the Masters. I want Tiger to win type of things. You know.
Well, that's what keeps that neon on.
67% of all to make the cut bets are on Tiger. DraftKings said he is their top liability. And Scotty Scheffler is the biggest favorite to win since Tiger in 2013 was. It should be noted that Tiger did not win in 2013. Adam Scott did. So
Xander Schauffele.
First Australia. I just wanted to say, when Adam Scott won in 2013, one of the sickest lines ever. He was the first Australian to ever win. The line uttered, "From down under to on top of the world." That's pretty sick. That's a pretty sick line to have in that moment.
And with that, moving on. Let's talk some Spurs on the other side. They went down hard last night. What should the time clock be as they head into the offseason? They got a couple of high draft picks around the bend and a little bit of money to spend. What should they do as the season ends? And my proclamation, let's end the season with a bang, not a whimper. Let's bring them Austin Spurs down. We'll talk about it next and look at what the Cowboys are doing. And the Ohtani story is weird. We'll find a black hat. Hold on, that's coming. You're on the Morning Huddle. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the NBA playoffs.
Down the middle of the lane, takes it right to the rim and flushes.
KTFM Floresville.
Are you the cup is half empty or the cup is half full kind of person? Or are you my cup overflows kind of person? Ben Stein writes, I cannot tell you anything that in a few minutes will tell you how to be rich, but I can tell you how to feel rich, which is far better, let me tell you firsthand, than being rich. Be grateful. It's the only totally reliable get-rich-quick scheme. End of quote. There is more to gratitude than training ourselves to pay attention to what is going right in our lives. Gratitude is the sense of gladness you have that a gift has been given and it must be acknowledged. And that's the challenge, not just to see it, but to acknowledge it. And in so doing, gratitude changes you. One researcher reveals that gratitude expressing people experience higher positive emotions like optimism and enthusiasm while being protected from destructive impulses like resentment and bitterness. So here's the challenge. If you feel grateful, express it. This is Mark Absher with the MacArthur Park Church of Christ. Visit our church online at macarthurchurch.org. The MacArthur Park Church of Christ, connecting God and people.
Texas weather this time of year Wind, rain, and hail. You know, if you were hit with the recent storms and you think you have roof damage, don't make the situation worse by putting your faith in one of those out-of-town storm chasers. Work with a local roofing company with years of experience. Work with a company whose people live in our area and deal with the same weather we do. That's Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994. Or you can get them online at stevensroofing.net. Buy local, stay local, trust local with Stevens Roofing.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
The Golf Club of Texas has some of the best course conditions with the friendliest staff. The golf is great. They have lighted driving range and practice area. While it feels like a country club, it's not a private club. It's open to the public, so bring the family into the Tin Cup Bar, the nicest sit-down restaurant in that area of San Antonio, specializing in Texas food, wine, and spirits. For golf or dinner, go to the Golf Club of Texas off Highway 90, online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
As we wind down the NBA regular season, still time to get in on the action at Underdog Fantasy and their Pick'em game. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. I love playing the Pick'em game, a fantasy game where you can win real money, and it's legal in Texas. Love playing the Pick'em game where you pick between 2 and 5 players and select higher or lower on player stats. If your picks hit, you could win up to 100 times your money, and it's certainly a lot of fun to play and adds excitement to watching the silver and black. So go to the Underdog Fantasy app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, you'll get a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, use my promo code STAR when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text DRAFT to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text DRAFT to 200-300 right now. Text the word DRAFT to 200-300. Don't wait. Text DRAFT to 200-300.
Hi, everybody. Scott Innes here. For 25 years, I've been voicing lovable cartoon dogs like Scooby-Doo, Astro. Hey, I love puppies and dogs. And now I get to help pets that need a voice to save their lives. That's where the Puppy Food Bank comes in. The Puppy Food Bank helps pet rescue organizations so they can feed puppies. For just $11 a month, you can save a pet's life. Go to puppyfoodbank.org now and donate, and they'll send you a nice gift. Puppy Food Bank is proudly supported by Thomas J. Henry.
San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Texas Rangers beat the Oakland A's 6-2 as the Rangers end their 3-game losing streak. They finished this series today at 1:35, a game you can catch live on KCDC, ESPN San Antonio. Houston Astros fell to the Royals 11-2 in Game 2 of their series. They'll wrap it up today at 1:10. The Spurs lost to OKC last night, 127-89 without Wemby.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
How good you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our twist. Let's go, baby.
This is the 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, gather around. We got a bunch to talk about. It's the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. RJ Ochoa, Rob Thompson. We gather together. Huddle every day from 6 to 10. We're glad you're with us. Don't mind them brake lights. We'll get you where you're going. Masters teeing off. I can tell you that because I'm looking on my ESPN TV and I see the leprechaun. What's his name? The caddy that shows up and we have fun with.
I mean, which caddy?
With the beard, you know, the charismatic caddy, the ESPN pundit. He's about
Fluff or
no,
whatever.
No, he's about 4 feet tall, bald.
Michael Collins.
Yeah, I think that's him.
Okay.
No, I cannot believe you don't know who I'm talking about. Anyway, they're getting ready to tee off.
I mean, my golf.
The most famous caddy in the world.
From a lot of other places. So.
Well, the most famous caddy in the world.
I would definitely disagree with that in a lot of ways.
Really? Who's the most famous caddy?
Bones.
I don't know who Bones is.
Jim Mackay. That's Phil Mickelson's caddy forever. He was on Justin Thomas's bag until like a week ago.
But he doesn't do TV. That just means he's
he
good
did
at what
Golf Channel for like 3 years.
Oh, okay.
But after being on Phil's bag.
But
so.
This guy, the one I'm talking about, Collins, he's not the most famous.
Bones is the most famous.
Okay.
caddy
Well, I beg to
in the
differ,
world.
but I'll agree with you. But this guy's the guy I know, and he only shows up at Masters time. I see him at Masters and other majors, and then he goes back and lives under a bridge.
An interesting way to put that.
It looks like a golf gnome.
You know, they sell lawn gnomes at the Masters, among other things.
They look like Michael Collins.
Well, and that's one of the most coveted items.
It's a loving tribute.
Because it's like a yearly thing. Like every
really,
I don't know. Every year it has a new design. I don't know. He's like in polka dots. I don't know, whatever. And so like one year I think they had him like dressed as Santa Claus, and so it became like a part of people's like whoever got one, obviously a part of their Christmas traditions or whatever. So it's a really niche collector's item. When I went, the thing I was asked the most to get is the Christmas ornament that the Masters has.
Mm-hmm. I've seen those.
So they have some things that are particularly popular relative to other things.
You know the Masters types. There's it's the golf fan, and you have this opinion of who the typical guy who's going to travel to a tournament and how they look and how they act. This is again a sport you're not allowed to clap when they're doing their thing. Then you go to Phoenix during the Waste Management and go to the Dirty Dog Saloon. And you see these people acting in their natural environment, and they're crazy.
It's just, I mean, I've been there once, and a lot of people have been to the Masters at different points in their lives. It has to feel. The only thing it felt like to me, and I've never done this, obviously, was like traveling back in time.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, so much is made about not having your cell phone, and so you're just reliant upon, the roars from this direction, and like, oh well, Jason Day just made it through. He's over there right now. And then you're waiting for the scoreboard to update. I mean, it is a truly unique place in the world. I've never experienced anything like it. Bob Sturm wrote about it, his trip this week, and he compared it to going to Canton or Cooperstown or wherever and watching an all-star game at this place while you're there. And it's like living in a museum while everything is unfolding in front of you. And I think what makes it unique and interesting is everybody's relationship with the course. Like everybody knows the course. It's the only major championship that's played on the same course. And so every player has to reckon with their mistakes when they confront it again, right? Every player in their pursuit of winning it has to relive the agony associated with, man, in 2018, I whatever, in 2020, I whatever. So it's what makes this week so special and so much fun. And Jesus asked who won the year I went. I went in 2018 when Patrick Reed won, excuse me. And the next year I came on this radio station and said that I would not have wanted to have been there when Tiger won, and all of you called me crazy.
You are crazy.
My position on this is well said in that when you're there, have access to where you are.
Right.
And you have to pick one spot. And what Tiger winning was this exhilarating, incredible, multi-day long thing that you needed all of the information to obtain or to understand. And you not only needed the information for Tiger's round and everywhere he was on the course, but you needed the information relative to what was happening around him. And you just would have missed that if you'd been there. Patrick Reed, not the most beloved Masters winner. So I'm kind of grateful that happened the year that I went. Like you don't want to go the year of an all-time performance, which is why so many people like going to the practice rounds, because you're not actually missing any tournament action.
I think some would beg to differ. I'd like to have been there on the first. A lot of
You
people
say
say
that,
they were.
but
I know
I'm
what you're
telling
saying. I've been in those environs, and while you certainly got wrapped up in the sense of place, that the details get lost. The details you get to see when you're watching it. That you get the sense of place and achievement there, but all the little things you have to go back and catch up on. And I think you kind of summarized why the Masters is so great. It's because of the sense of place, because the course is a central character in the thing. It's
it's the character,
right?
It's
It
the
is
main
the central character in the plot. Great books. One of my favorite writer, Cormac McCarthy. You got a sense of place. Whenever you read the book, you knew where you were. What it smelled like, what it tasted like, what it looked like. And the Masters, when they're standing on the 12th, you know where they are. You've been there before.
Well, that's to your point about like a great book,
right?
Is when you can feel how many pages are left and whatever, and you kind of know, like you can sort of not context clues, your way through the plot that's unfolding in front of you. But as things get dicey, on the end of the first 9 at the Masters, like here it comes. Like when they're on 10, you're like, Amen corner's coming up. Like he's got to get through 12. You know what I mean? Like you know the hurdles that lay ahead and that lie ahead because you have this intimate relationship with it. I don't know of a sporting event that is like this.
There's not. It is singular.
Even in like championship games are wonderful and amazing. I mean, Monday night was a riveting one in and of itself. Sunday was an amazing one as well. But those are circumstantial. You never know what two teams are going to be there and what challenges they'll present against one another. And sometimes that leads to amazing performances and amazing contests. But this is always man versus the course, and that is what makes it so riveting.
Last night we're running out of time with these Spurs. They achieved the lack of infamy. They're known now as just one of the worst franchises in Spurs history, not the. They get one more opportunity at home. That'll be coming against Detroit. Last night, Spurs punted. We didn't know when we were on, but by the time I got home, Wemby had been pulled from the lineup, and the Spurs acted appropriately. 38-point win. They were down early, down often, and did nothing positive last night. Nothing really. But what was most concerning, other than the performance, RJ, was Popovich in pregame. And this is more of an existential thing with us as Spurs fans as we've gone through this terrible season. Was at least Wemby is great. At least he's ahead of schedule. Everybody else seems to be behind, but Wemby's there. But when you look at Oklahoma City, you have to understand that Sam Presti and Greg Popovich are cut from the same cloth. They're of the same jib, some would say. Listen to Pop praise the Thunders and all that they've done.
Overall, the organization has done a fantastic job. Sam Presti is special. The work he does is brilliant, and the entire coaching staff is committed, organized, makes people accountable, creative. The players are talented, but that's not enough. They're disciplined. Their camaraderie is special. They've grown into this, as you said, the rebuild. After a few years, it's obvious. And Gilly says he's an MVP candidate. There's nothing else you can say about it. When you've got that, it's your responsibility to build around it, and they've done it. So they deserve a lot of credit.
Boy, what's the sincerest form of praise?
imitation failure from a flatter.
Semantics. But yeah, and we were told that, we certainly do appreciate the way Oklahoma City has done things over the years. That's not the first time that Pop and Buford and Wright and whoever were in silver and black at the time have, really praised Oklahoma City for having a plan, acquiring the draft choices, drafting appropriately, bringing in lots of talent, timely veterans, and all the things that go into championships. But Oklahoma City never had a Wemby. They didn't have that. They had to go through the process because they didn't have a Wemby. Spurs don't have to go through a process. They got a Wemby. The process is done. Now fill in the edges. That's all you got to do.
I mean, the word process has just been so overused. But, but even if we consider the last few years of what the Spurs have, quote unquote, accomplished to have been a process, was the process successful or did they just get inordinately lucky? Right? Like, did the process lead to Wemby? You know what I'm saying?
It has to. You have to go that route.
No,
the process brought you to that.
I don't know that it did.
I'm not saying luck is 90% perspiration and that kind of stuff. They did everything they could do to be in the building.
I'll give them some semblance of credit for the process, air quotes, that brought them here. But my goodness, I mean, quit being so lazy. You know what I mean? Like, do something, be aggressive, be different, challenge yourself, think outside the box. I mean, I hope that.
Wrong team, same outcome.
I just hate sports so much, except for the Masters, really. But I mean, I need this week just my sports heart.
We have established a championship program. It's just not the world championship yet.
Well, we've got that. Again, that's the other team.
I'm going to get really into reality television.
Hey, coming back, let's talk some baseball. Go find your black hats. There are conspiracy theories floating around the inner tubes and guys that are in their basements trying to figure out how this happened so quickly. Shohei Ohtani's interpreter, the guy that supposedly, or at least now by law, did, he has pled out to the feds, putting to bed this long and drawn-out investigation and story. We can all rest easy that Ohtani had nothing to do with anything. Let's talk about this story and how quickly things got quiet. The Ohtani story continues. Baseball lives forever, and we're talking about them both. This is the Morning Huddle. You're on 94.1, the San Antonio Sports Star. I hope you washed yourself clean this morning, stepping out of a Connecticut water-softened shower. If you did, carry on with your day. You started out correctly. If you're one of the many, or not many, if you're one of those in San Antonio who did not, listen closely. So many of us aspire to having the very best, and so many of us can't afford to get the very best because, quite frankly, that stuff costs. But quality is always better than quantity. Let me tell you, quality, like Connecticut water softener, is the best way you can go in San Antonio. It's designed in the United States. It's an award-winning design. In fact, it's the most efficient you can find, according to those that know. If you want all the details on what they got, go to ConnecticutSA.com. I can just tell you as an owner. My pipes have never had an issue. I've never had a clogged pipe because of the sediment that comes through the water. I've not ever run into that. I don't have white stuff on my dishes. I don't have to worry about it on my hair. My dog drinking fine water. I don't have any concerns about it at all. I'm not buying as much salt as I used to. Heck, my power bill ain't what it was. You don't even plug in a Connecticut. Can I keep going? The warranty I've got, I guess it's good. I've never had to use it. If you're waiting on a Connecticut, now's the time. 90 days free of charge in your home. You'll find out what I and so many people in San Antonio already know. There's not a better solution. If you need a water softener, call Connecticut. If you've got one, it ain't good enough. You got to get a Connecticut. Call them right now. 90 days. Here's the number you need, 656-PURE. All the details can be found at ConnecticutSA.com. Listen to be close. Get yourself a Connecticut, and I know you're going to be thanking me later.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, we have got a star-studded show for you, including Ice Cube.
Ice Cube from the Big Three is going to join us on the Blitz. So will Nancy Lieberman. It's going to be a fantastic day talking Big Three basketball. Plus, we'll talk NFL with John McClain at 5:15. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, I'm Mark Cuban, entrepreneur, businessman, and TV fan. People always come to me for investment advice. So here's a quick tip for you. Stop overpaying for cable and switch to Philo. What's Philo? It's the best way to watch more than 70 of your favorite channels and save big on your monthly bills. You can stream top channels like AMC, A&E, Discovery, Live, and On Demand. Philo's also got a library with thousands of hours of movies and shows just waiting for you. Plus, an unlimited DVR that lets you save all your favorites and rewatch them for up to 1 year. All of this for just $25 a month. You don't need me to tell you that this is a deal you need to make. Philo, now and forever.
Head on over to philo.tv. That's PHILO.tv. And start your 7-day free trial now.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collision since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Diamonds Direct spring sale starts this weekend. Get 20% off rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. It's the best store-wide sale of the season. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. That's right, 20% savings plus an extra $100 off. Also enjoy an expanded selection of the latest styles with designer appearances each weekend. Tons of engagement rings on sale too. 20% off starts Friday and open this Sunday as well. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Hard work, dedication, and dreams. These are the keystones of success. But easily filing your taxes with TurboTax and Credit Karma doesn't hurt either. And getting your max refund guarantee definitely doesn't hurt. But let others think you did a lot of hard work to file your taxes when in reality, it was a walk in the park. No, you literally filed while walking your dog in the park. Winner! Because some key info is pre-filled for you so you can file quickly and confidently like the boss that you are. So give yourself the peace of mind that comes with getting expert help, because you're going places. Let's go. And make tax season feel like it's award season with easy filing. Yeah! Know that you're backed by the leading tax preparer, TurboTax, and we'll show you all your filing options up front, so there are no surprises. Feel accomplished and confident that your taxes are done right. File an Intuit Credit Karma today. Yeah. Expert help not available with all products. Guarantee details available at turbotax.com/guarantees.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
Howdy, San Antonio. This is Andrew Monaco, and you're locked on the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. That's RJ over there. I'm over here. This is Rob Thompson. We're glad you're here on the Morning Huddle. Hope you went out to the Big Blind last night. First show out there with the Blitz. Sounded phenomenal. Must be a nice place. Can't wait to go. $5 lunch special. Hamburger, fries, and a drink of your choice. Can be a tea, can be a beer. You don't have to be a member. Just walk in. $5 lunch special.
$5. That's like $3.
I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
It's 281 in Redland. Thank Chip and all the guys having us out. We look forward to heading out there again. They got this thing going. It'll be Wednesdays called 6K Wednesdays. $60 buy-in, $6 rebuy. Joe didn't have a good night, but you can go take his money next Wednesday.
Right on.
Right on. Shohei Ohtani, the long and sad story that has been the gambling saga appears to be coming to a rapid end. Word yesterday that his interpreter, the one that has been accused and now is admitting to, taking roughly $4.5 million directly out of Otani's account to pay off supposed gambling debts incurred by the interpreter, of which Otani had no idea ever of anything of any sort ever happening at all. It's over. He's going to go do his time. He's going to plead out. And, this will just go away. And, I'm not mad that it's going away. I'm not mad at Otani, but there's more to this. This is no way that he pled out after 2 weeks.
I think, I mean, I'm not mad. I mean, as long as the, right and just thing is happening, I'm generally good in life. You know what I mean? But this just feels fishy. I mean, and I actually don't even now just mean the actual story. The way that it feels like MLB is doing everything they can to not put any attention on this. Any outlet is putting the only outlet that seems to be interested in this is the LA Times. I mean, they're the people who broke the story to begin with. But I really don't know this. I mean, maybe Rob. I was seeing some people were saying that some wire transfers require voice authorization. Is that
it? All
true
depends on your bank. Well,
I mean,
every bank has their own security precautions. Some
if you're
require
going to transfer $500,000, I would imagine that it's more than just check this box to prove you're not a robot. You know what I'm saying? Like
not your fingerprint identification on your iPhone. It takes a little bit more than that.
Yeah, I mean, so I would be stunned if it didn't require something significant, but I don't know. I mean, the crazy thing about this, or potentially crazy, allegedly crazy, is if Otani is guilty in some way, shape, or form, I think when any kind of controversy happens, right, somebody sits down with the person involved and says, this is going to be the story. This is what we're all going to stick to, right? And so you're Otani right now, Rob. You come to me. I'm your guy. Say,
Yes.
Okay, guy, get me out. What do I need to say? And my advice is, and you have to follow this, and I think you agree this is what Otani's in. You have to act like the dumbest person in the world.
You have to be a complete idiot to get out of this.
You have to, you have to be the most naive, the most gullible, the dumbest person possible to allow this to happen. You don't want to have your entire life thrown upside down. That's who you are now. You are super dumb.
So he pleads out. This is not a violent crime. This is a white collar, little bit of gambling, which in a lot of people's eyes is a harmless vice. Do a couple years, do the country club stuff, go where Martha Stewart was, that kind of. And I get the sense that when he is finally paroled and has paid his debt to society, that there's a little bit of money waiting on him. Now, if you're watching us live on our YouTube feed, I got my black hat on, and this is just a theory, but my goodness, it's for the good of baseball. It's kind of like the moving screen on UConn the other night. It was for the good of women's basketball. That sometimes things just got to happen for the good of the others. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and the interpreter is going to have to fall on his sword, and it appears that he's done it. And I just feel like if you'll plead out, my friend, when you get out, you'll be taken care of. There will be a little bit of money waiting on you. You'll go disappear, live in Dubai, live UAE, live on the sandbank, look at those tall buildings, and live a good life. But for right now, you have to do some time to protect the game of baseball and the most important entity there. That's how it feels.
It's hard to say that if we have to come up with things we think, not anything we can prove, not anything that's factual at this point in time. That really is what this smells like, especially with, again, how little coverage there's been on this story. There's been more coverage on Adam Schefter saying he thinks the Cowboys are a sleeper to draft a quarterback than there has been this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's wild when you really think about it. And it's not like, he plays for the Brewers or, the Diamondbacks. He plays for the Dodgers. He's not like this, low profile player Like it's not the scandal the NBA's, kind of trying to sweep under the rug themselves. This is the most visible player in the sport that has the most notorious relationship with the cardinal sin, to use Adam Silver's words, of gambling. And it's just like, Adam, don't worry about it. Y'all see, the Royals beat the Astros. Let's talk about that instead.
Look over here. Look how good the Yankees are. Let's talk
look
about
at Juan
whether
Soto
we should
going off. Yeah,
let's
exactly.
work with the pitch clock, because pitchers' arms are falling off a week into the schedule. Let's talk about something that really matters. Now, the LA Times has reported that the interpreter had adjusted the settings so that any updates, like any emails saying, "Hey, click yes if you're transferring $500,000 if this is you," that all those were sent to another. I'm sure you have to. Yeah, I would assume he did that. But even then, that still doesn't absolve me of saying, you're telling me that guy didn't know you. And they're saying that he probably stole more than $4.5 million. See, they have to explode the rumor. They got to make it look even worse. That he was so dastardly and conniving, he was able to steal more than $4.5 million from his best friend and alter any email notifications coming directly to him. Instead of, you know what? If you were going to do that, that would have to happen. Yes. I just don't believe any of that happened. I think at the end of the day, if I was a betting man and I was in the room, he was helping out a bro and didn't realize he was helping out a bro. And that helping out a bro that way was the worst way to pay off a dude's gambling debt in baseball is the worst thing you could have done, other than make the bet yourself.
So that's what you think.
I do believe he did not have any malicious intent. I think he was helping out a bro, and the dude said, "Hey man, I'm in it deep. These guys are going to kill me." And he did what he. I'm $4.5 million. Now we're talking about getting tied up and left in the desert. That's a lot of money.
I think I'm kind of with you. I think at the very least that Shohei legitimately paid his debt.
Yeah.
Good friend move, good guy move, good bro move, and nobody realized how that could implicate
the ramifications of the action
relative to Major League Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And even relative to the IRS.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Relative to, I think he thought like, oh, you owe him? Here you go.
Here you go. I
mean?
got
It's
it.
like,
Man, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they had a fight about it or whatever, but I feel like, hey, man, I'm here to help. I got it. You're a bro, man. You've gotten me through some stuff. And at that moment, he had made a decision that, they're going to protect him from, because I do think if there was some malicious intent, if he was really down in gambling, baseball wouldn't have any of that. If it was like, yeah, he's throwing some money around, even if it's international games, no, we can't have you doing that. But I do think that's been investigated, that he didn't do it. He was just helping to do it out. And the letter of the law means, you know what, you're going to have to pay for it. They don't want to go that far. And if I'm saying all that, wearing a black hat, this is supposition by me. It just feels like this is going away so quickly because there really is no there, but there is a there.
Well, that's the thing. If that speculation, if that theory were to be true, then it is easier to see how involved parties could overlook it and say, hey, dude, okay, let's all come clean. Okay, you were helping this guy out. There was good intent there.
Right.
But you have to understand this technically is a crime relative to the world that we're living in here. You technically are subject to punishment. We don't want to do that. We don't believe, again, assuming all this is true, this is one theory, one speculation. We don't want to punish you for that. We're going to throw the gag order out. Nobody's going to talk about this whatsoever. We're going to make sure this goes away, but you have to bury this guy, and you have to be the dumbest person alive. That is the only way we make all this story work out. So go show your horrible SAT score so that everyone can believe the story.
Be the grinning idiot. We'll get through this. And this guy's going to have to go spend some time. He's going to get out and be like George Clooney from Ocean's 11. Got a big old bank account. Just stay low.
Man, Ocean's 11's getting a lot of pop this morning. Like, we've referenced it
this is
several times.
A movie. So this guy falls on the sword for his best friend. He gets out of jail. Everybody knows that his best friend's left him like $10 million. And he's got to race to the bank to get the cash. The Japanese Yakuza's after the cash. The bookie that he has thrown under the bus several years ago is after it. His former friend and now drunken waste of a man, Shohei Ohtani, some years later, is after him. And he's got to get to the bank to get the cash. And oh, by the way, he's got a little girl orphan with him. This is the movie I'm writing. That he's got to protect all the way to Switzerland. And here's the kicker. This is why you're going to give me the money to make the movie. You know
On the
who
subject
the
of-
interpreter is? Kevin Hart.
On the subject of movies, maybe Kevin Hart is the answer
Oh,
to
it'd be
this
perfect.
question. No. But hear me out. You were kind of kicking this can around earlier. If you could revive a character and have an actor retake over the role that they've left behind in the past, who would you want it to be?
Let's talk about it. There is one out there that might actually be doing it. Marvel fans, are you ready for this? Can you suspend all sorts of reality? Can it happen? Back from the death? It's happened before. And let's figure out who needs to be doing what they did before. And look at the NFL. The clock is ticking. We're 2 weeks away from the draft. And next time you see the Dallas Cowboys in a weird uniform, it might involve another weird helmet. We'll look at what the NFL is doing. Hold on. More talk coming, and you need to be a part of it. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the 2024 NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We're the 24th pick. The Dallas Cowboys select
April 25th, 26th, and 27th. Join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft. Live from Detroit.
I love the tenacity and the aggression with which he plays. He is a mauler.
Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number one? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant?
the Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
We don't ever want to pass on the guy you ought to be taking there, but still be position
I
selected.
thought Sauce Gardner would be the first corner, but you go back to 2019, and that version of Derek Stingley is as good as anybody in this entire draft class.
Find out right here on your exclusive home for the NFL Draft. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
GiveMeTheVin.com is America's best car buyer, paying top dollar for your car, truck, sports car, exotic. What are you waiting for? We want to buy your car right now. Find out why thousands of satisfied customers across the United States put more money in their pocket by going to GiveMeTheVin.com. I told my buyers, let's get them bought. Right now is the time to go.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Texas weather this time of year means storms, wind, rain, and hail. You know, if you were hit with the recent storms and you think you have roof damage, don't make the situation worse by putting your faith in one of those out-of-town storm chasers. Work with a local roofing company with years of experience. Work with a company whose people live in our area and deal with the same weather we do. That's Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994. Or you can get them online at stevensroofing.net. Buy local, stay local, trust local with Stevens Roofing.
Urgent Camp Lejeune settlement message. The government will soon begin providing fast, guaranteed settlements to Camp Lejeune Marines, families, and civilians. Awards will range between $100,000 and $550,000 with an option for higher amounts. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and suffered cancers of the bladder, liver or kidneys, leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's, or kidney issues, you may be entitled to a significant financial reward for your Camp Lejeune claim and could be paid within 60 days after accepting your settlement with your VA benefits fully protected. But the deadline for filing is fast approaching, so you need to act now. Call the James Harris Law Camp Lejeune helpline now to get the compensation you deserve. We're already fighting for thousands harmed by the water at Camp Lejeune, and with the deadline coming, you need to call now or you may forever lose your right to a settlement between $100,000 and $550,000. For your free evaluation, call 800-738-2277, 800-738-2277, 800-738-2277.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window. Place. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text DRAFT to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text DRAFT to 200-300 right now. Text the word DRAFT to 200-300. Don't wait. Text DRAFT to 200-300.
The future of medicine is here at QC Kinetics. QC is the nation's leader in the most exciting revolution in pain management we've seen in decades, regenerative medicine. If you're tired of achy joints, your joint pain keeping you from doing what you love, then you need to call QC Kinetics now. Surgery, steroids, drugs, these are no longer your best options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative treatments that deliver lasting results. We're talking natural biologics using your own body's power to repair and restore damaged tissue. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup. Dr. Scheinkup is a pioneer in this field with 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, teaching, and publishing. He wants to get you relief with a needle, not a knife. Call now to learn more about some exciting options in this revolutionary approach to get you long-term relief with no downtime. So what are you waiting for? Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Good morning, everybody. Joe Reinagle here, coming up on the Blitz. What a star-studded show we have. Ice Cube from the Big Three is going to join us at 3:35. That's going to be exciting. Nancy Lieberman will join us as well. Plus, we'll talk to the General John McClain about all things NFL. But the Masters has begun. And fellas, I got to ask you a question. Does Tiger make the cut or does he miss the cut?
Well, Joe, I don't think he's going to make the cut. That's just me. It is the Morning Huddle, and I am the half-empty glass of water that is known as Rob Thompson. And the sunshine that is RJ Ochoa sitting to my right. Yeah, to my right. How you doing this morning?
You were very excited for this topic.
Well, you know, a couple things going on. The draft's getting close. Mel Kiper, the Punxsutawney Phil of prognosticators, has come out of his hole after a series of tabulations and decided who the teams are going to draft, and even told us the trades that are going to happen. This is on the heels of Adam Schefter telling us that the Cowboys are a sleeper to draft a quarterback, Mel Kiper, on which of those quarterbacks the Cowboys could take if they do, in fact, draft a quarterback.
Certainly, Rattler's in that mix. Michael Pratt-Tulane, Keaton Slovis, BYU's moved up a little bit into that 6th round area. So there are some day 3, maybe some late day 2. I'm thinking more day 3. Dak was a 4th round pick, but help out your quarterback. And you got to get the offensive line. You need a running back. You need draft choices that have to go to those positions to help your quarterback keep moving it forward and maybe get to a Super Bowl.
See the sanity that he brings. Hey, man, yeah, there's a couple guys in the 4th, 5th, 6th round, but you got to help plug some holes. He brings to the table what you're talking about, the sane move.
You've done nothing to help not just your quarterback this offseason, but anybody. But I mean, where are they improved?
Nowhere yet. Linebacker. We've got a heck of a Pro Bowler linebacker.
Well, they also saw Leighton Vander Esch retire. I mean, so it's kind of a wash, right?
Oh, well, I mean, this guy went to the Pro Bowl and he's far better.
So did Leighton Vander Esch.
Recently.
So did Leighton Vander Esch. I mean, that's what I'm saying. So your biggest quote unquote improvement is maybe a marginally better than wash sort of thing at linebacker. Great. it's still a need.
But he pointed
You know,
out, yeah, the quarterback's fine, and there's a couple. The Keaton Slovis guy actually might have something there. I watched him play a couple of times. There's a live arm there, a little bit of mobility. So, yeah, 5th-round pick. I think it's a training camp body, but that's when you're talking sleeper and quarterback, that's fine. The biggest question will be if any of these quarterbacks that are drafted, if we see them in a Cowboys uniform, will it be in a new helmet? It appears that in 2025, the NFL will allow all the NFL teams to now have 3 special 3 helmets, 2 specials and a regular.
Do you know how many helmets the Cowboys wore last year?
2.
4.
4. They have the white with the blue star. They have the silver with the blue star.
Thanksgiving throwback helmet.
Well, what's the other
And
one?
the silver is the normal.
But then we're going to talk about like the blue and red, the stripe. That isn't a different helmet. That's just a stripe.
No, but it allows them to kind of cheat and kind of, live within the system. So what their primary helmet is obviously the silver one that everyone's aware of.
Right.
And everyone knows about the Thanksgiving throwback helmet, which they now wear on Thanksgiving.
The white with the blue star. Yes.
But that star doesn't have the white trim that the normal star has. The Thanksgiving helmet it's just a navy star.
Right.
So what the Cowboys did is a couple of years ago on their standard helmet, the silver one, they took one of the blue stripes, like you said, and
made it
replaced
red.
it with red. The bicentennial helmet that they wore in the 70s. Okay, cool. That was awesome. They do that once a year.
Yeah.
In addition, they got really cute and really sneaky, and so the rules actually are about the physical helmets, the shell of the helmet, if you will, the physical structure of the helmet.
Uh-huh.
You can do whatever you want from a decal standpoint.
So you
which
can
is where the
sticker that
Cowboys
thing
got-
up all the time.
Well, what they did is they took the white helmet that is their throwback, and instead of putting the just pure navy star, they put the star that's on their silver helmet that has the white trim, and they put the 2 navy stripes along the top. And
Not a
so
bad
they
helmet.
wear that. They wear that with their color rush getups now, and it allows them to have another look. It's a 4th look. It's technically the same helmet. They're just mixing and matching decals and whatnot to create different looks. It's from an entertainment and a marketing standpoint, it's genius. I wish that kind of thinking translated.
So
throughout the
they're
building,
going to get another one. Can you foresee a blue helmet? I've seen some of them. I've seen artists
like
rendering.
fan mock-ups and stuff.
Yeah, with a blue helmet and a silver star, kind of an inverse
I don't need
thing.
a blue helmet. I don't need a blue helmet. Everybody always wants a black helmet. I don't need a black helmet.
See, I mean, if you're going to do it, they've modified the common.
Some teams are trying way too hard to do black helmets. Not everyone can pull it off. The Panthers black helmet looks horrible. The Saints black helmet looks horrible. The Jets black helmet looks horrible. The Cardinals black helmet with the metallic red bird.
I think it looks good. No, there's some of them I disagree with you. Though.
I think that your taste is horrible.
Well, there's some of those that you brought up, the Cardinals in specifics, and the Commanders. That black uni might be the best in all the football.
I like the Commanders black uniform and helmet. The only thing I don't like is on the back of their jersey where the name is. They have lines that sandwich the name.
Yeah,
if you got rid of those,
it's a very specific font idea. I agree that it's kind of off-putting. It's different, but why can't the Cowboys think that direction? Because I do think there's something in the black, the one off, because they wear the one off the white, the color rush white ones. The all black Cowboy with some blue instead of that burgundy or whatever the heck they call that commander color. I think would be worth it. They sell some smooth gear.
If you're gonna do another color helmet, and I'm forced to go down that path, then it should be like a royal blue helmet.
Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna fight it.
It should make the jersey numbers pop. You know what I'm saying? Like it not navy, because nothing a part of your home jersey is navy. It should be in line with that blue. They used to have their navy jerseys used to be royal blue. I wish they'd do that. But I don't think that's happening.
What do you expect? Something? I mean, it's a step for them. It's interesting that the 3 teams that I have chosen to bestow my fandom on, the Spurs, the Aggies, and the Cowboys, are the 3 most reticent teams to change anything at all about what they wear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's taken
how can you
forever
say that
for the
about
Spurs.
the Spurs?
Well,
What are you
finally,
talking
but we're
about?
talking about 30 years of, here, you know what we're going to do special this year? The S is going to be a half inch bigger. Okay, wow. So they really haven't done much. And suddenly I think they realize the benefit of, hey, there's some benefit here, guys. People like to have different stuff to wear, even though we still will always go back to the silver and black. It's kind of nice to have some variants. Cowboy fan, I think, is sitting back going, maybe a black or something different, because I got a lot of blue polos. I got a lot of white Columbia fishing shirts with a blue star. I got a lot of the same crap. Give me something different.
I think the teams have realized that it's not necessarily nice to have something different to wear. It's nice to have something different for people to buy.
Right.
That's what they care about.
But you got to put it on at least once for us to buy it.
There's no black in the Cowboys color scheme, which is why I wouldn't support it. Oh, the Colts have a black helmet too. That looks horrible. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the Colts actually, black is technically a part of their color scheme, and it looks awful with the royal blue.
You
and
don't
white.
need black if you got the navy blue. Whether they all go navy or royal, that's fine. But I'd like to see.
What about a navy helmet?
Yes. Like the Colts have done. Look at that Colt. That does not look bad.
No, I'm trying to think of has Auburn ever had a navy helmet? No,
not to my knowledge.
I mean, because when I think navy helmets, I think of like the Bears helmet. That's like a fully navy helmet.
No, I'm talking cowboy navy, whatever that is. Although it's varied over the years.
I'm trying to think of a shade of a school that's done it.
I was at a thing yesterday. I'm seeing the Better Business Bureau golf tournament there at Topgolf, and leave it to the Better Business Bureau to come up with a golf tournament that you can't cheat on. They had a Earl Campbell helmet for sale, autographed Houston Oilers helmet. And when I saw that, I didn't know about the new helmet coming and all that. And all I could think about was the possibility that the Texans have fumbled yet again.
The Texans have fumbled?
Yeah, I mean, the possibility of what they could do with this Houston Oilers uniform and Derek, they didn't do enough. They took a step. It's not enough.
I don't think you can blame the Texans for that.
Well, I know that there's some other stuff, but they might be hamstrung by. Yeah, right. But it is unfortunate when I see the truest representation of a Houston Oilers helmet with the Earl sign, and I think, I'm never going to see that again. And it's unfortunate.
You did see it. The Titans wore them.
Yeah, see, that doesn't. I'm talking about in Houston. Yes, the Titans did wear them. It doesn't feel right. And I watched the University of Houston put on their version, and I watched Rice put on their version. I mean, everybody's wearing Oiler colors now.
How about Rice has some Navy helmets? Like Rice has some Navy get-ups. That give you close your eyes and think about Rice's uniform.
I need a little shinier than that. I know the Rice, that's too flat.
But see, so I've always thought the Texans' best look was Navy helmet, Navy pants, white jersey. I love that look for the Texans. And if the Cowboys were to go with some sort of Navy thing, they would look exactly like that. That's what I'm saying. I think you got to lean into the royal blue. That's the color that you're not utilizing a lot. You got a lot of navy and white going on.
Well, the Houston Texans, when they heard this news, did do something on the socials with the eyeballs that maybe this might be their chance. Oh, one more uni?
How about a white helmet for the Texans? That would look sick.
As long as there's a Derek on the side.
Again,
I know.
You're not living in reality.
I know.
Well, then why are you saying it? I mean, like what you're saying is I wish I could go to the moon.
Well, it's about as likely as the Cowboys giving you a royal blue helmet. It's not going to happen. That's why it's such an interesting conversation, because I just can't imagine them doing it.
I think you're complaining just to complain.
Then again, I didn't think the Spurs would ever play in teal blue and wear brown warmups. So,
and look how better off we all are for that.
Yes, we are, in fact, much better off. The clock is ticking as far as what the Cowboys are doing, and Adam Schefter kind of did a little moonwalk on the Cowboys' sleeper idea with getting a quarterback. And I don't want to talk about the Cowboys getting a quarterback, but the very idea of the quarterback. Did you look at the breakdown of where the quarterbacks were going to fall? Were you surprised when and I'm talking about with the haircuts draft prospects? I thought Michael Penix was a first-round draft pick.
I don't think so. I mean, he's got the highest ceiling of anybody, but he has the lowest floor. Mm-hmm. And I think his best chance of going in the first round is if somebody really wants at the end of the night to get that fifth-year option and trade back in to the end, kind of like the Ravens with Lamar Jackson. Not that he's Lamar Jackson, but I mean, that fifth year is so valuable, especially for a quarterback. And so That's the only way I think it ultimately happens for him.
The most likely candidate for the Cowboys draft is an offensive lineman. He showed us this guy named Guyton. I don't know. I mean, just tell me he's an offensive lineman that can protect the backside or front side of the quarterback, and I'm down. But when you get deeper into the draft, he did have making some moves. A lot of Texas influence on that. It felt like this was the precursor to the next of his picks. Where does Xavier land?
Xavier Worthy in his latest mock goes 23 to the Chargers because they've traded in this mock. They've traded down with the Vikings.
Where does the running back Brooks?
I don't recall.
Isn't it the Cowboys? I've gone through so many mock drafts over the last couple of days.
Well, it's pretty vogue to mock
Right.
Jonathan Brooks to the Cowboys in the second round because he's coming off an injury. He would have been highly touted if not for the injury. The Cowboys love to kind of get that kind of player with their second round pick. They've done that over the course of, the last decade. They want to tell you, Rob, after Friday night when rounds 2 and 3 are over and Jerry's doing this press conference, or Steven will be the one that, says, we really feel like we've gotten 2 first-round talents here with, insert offensive lineman and Brooks. And Goldfinger 123, to answer your question, can you tell us why Penix falls in the draft? It's because he has the lowest floor. I mean, because people, you want, when you are picking a quarterback, you have to have the highest floor possible. Obviously, you want a high floor and a high ceiling, and that's what Caleb Williams offers you. But Michael Penix could bottom out and be nothing for you, and you can't take that risk, obviously, with the most premium resource that you have at your disposal.
Which of the former casted stars who lost their vehicle due to death would you like to see him come back and do? Robert Downey Jr. said he's open to coming back and doing an Iron Man, and I'm excited, man. I'd like to see that come back. Anybody else out there you'd like to see come back and reprise a role that has been given or taken away?
The one that comes to mind for me is Bryan Cranston is Walter White. I would love to see. You want to do anything as Walter White ever again? I will watch it.
I love it. What are your thoughts on the other side? Guys that need to be doing what they did before. Did they get lost or do they need to do it again? We'll look there. We'll look at the Spurs minus Wemby, which equals absolutely less than 0. And can they pull it off? We'll look around the NBA. The slugfest has begun. Hang on. There is a lot to do. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville.
Train heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Joe Reinagle here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at sanantoniolasik.com.
Why do so many dogs suffer from weight issues, skin problems, messy poops, and low energy? It could be the popular dog food you put in their bowl each day.
Cody was sleeping a lot, wasn't playing.
She was very lethargic and not moving around. Dry kibble just wasn't cutting it.
That's why, after more than 45 years of experience of helping dogs make complete health turnarounds, veterinarian Dr. Marty created Nature's Blend. It's a freeze-dried raw dog food made with wholesome ingredients like premium meats, seeds, vegetables, and fruit. And once dog parents switch their pups to Nature's Blend, the results can be astounding.
She's got her energy back. She's running around like she did like 5 years ago.
Miraculously, she's just feeling all around better. She's like a new dog. Thank you, Dr. Marty.
Get your dog started today and save up to 54% off Nature's Blend. Plus, receive a free pack of our best-selling beef liver dog treats. Go to drmartypets.com/good or text GOOD to 511-511. Text GOOD to 511-511. All dogs are unique. Your dog's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
Ball forward, take your base.
The only thing worse than a pitcher running out of gas on the mound is your old phone running out of storage for your photos in the stands.
Goodbye, home run.
Switch to Verizon and get a great deal on a new iPhone 15 Pro with tons of storage for all the ballpark pics you want. Just trade in your iPhone, any model, in any condition, so you'll feel like you're winning, even when your team's not. Trade in any iPhone in any condition for a great deal on iPhone 15 Pro with unlimited Ultimate and all the storage you need. Get the network you want on the iPhone you love, only on Verizon.
If you think Taco Bell is only for late night, you are mistaken. Taco Bell is also for daytime, which is why it's introducing the new Cantina Chicken menu with new Cantina Chicken tacos, burrito, and quesadilla. And new ingredients like seasoned slow-roasted chicken, freshly prepared pico de gallo, shredded purple cabbage, and even a new avocado verde salsa packet. It's the Taco Bell for when it's not late night.
Whoa, not just late night. Try the new Cantina Chicken menu now. The participating U.S. Taco Bell locations will supply last. Contact store for participation which varies.
Hard work and dreams lead to success, but easily filing your taxes with TurboTax and Credit Karma doesn't hurt either. Make filing taxes a walk in the park because we'll pre-fill your info for you so you can file quickly and confidently. Winner! Get the peace of mind that comes with expert help. Let's go! Being powered by TurboTax means you're backed by the leading tax preparer, and we'll show you all your filing options up front so there are no surprises. File your taxes on Intuit Credit Karma today. Expert help not available with all products. Guarantee details available at turbotax.com/guarantees.
Dave Ramsey here. The only water softener I recommend is a quality water softener from Connecticut. It really is the last water softener you'll ever own.
ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Are you ready to party with a purpose? Taste of the Northside is Thursday, April 18th at the beautiful Security Service Event Center. This elevated fiesta event for foodies includes on-site covered parking, entertainment, unlimited tastings from over 30 premier restaurants, countless curated wines and craft beers, hosted by Brighton Center, presented by HEB. Purchase tickets at tasteofthenorthside.org. Proceeds benefit Brighton Center, the largest nonprofit in San Antonio serving children with disabilities through pediatric therapy and education initiatives.
94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The San Antonio Spurs fell last night in their quest to win 21 games. They went down to the Thunder 127-89. A feeble effort, though Wemby was not there. Zach Collins led them with scoring with 20 points. Houston Astros fell to the Royals 11-2 in a two-game series. They wrap up their series today at 110. The Rangers fell to the Oakland A's 6-2 to end their three-game losing streak.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Wembanyama goes behind the back here. Oh, little sidestep and a jam by Wembanyama.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hey, gather around. There's much to talk about this morning. It's the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio's Sports Star. That's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. We are celebrating Small Friday, Big Thursdays in appropriate ways. It's Masters Thursday. Looks like the weather is cleared. I see. Is that Nicholas? Who's teeing off right there? Look like they're starting everything. Masters Thursday is on the docket. They're going off the tees as we speak. Is that Nicholas swinging the club? Gary Player there? All up. There we go. Here we go. We're beginning what will be a fine Thursday. Stay with us all day long. We'll keep you updated. This hour, looking at the Spurs as they go down hard, closing down the season here in a couple of days as they'll close it down here in Detroit. Cowboys on the clock with the draft and elsewise other things. I want to talk about something I saw on News 4 the other day. And, we focus on a lot of different sports, but high school track is not really one of them. I want to talk about this girl, Elizabeth Leachman. Have y'all heard about her? She goes to Bernie Champion High School, sophomore. We have one of the preeminent young athletes in the United States. She was up at the Texas Relays over the weekend and really kind of made a splash, although those in the track field have known about her for a minute, but she's awfully young. She won the 5,000 meters in the Texas Relay the other day in a ridiculous way. It set a record. She downed the field by 35 seconds. This is D1, high D1 tracksters. This is sophomore Bernie Champion. She lapped the field. We're in the midst of something great going on up there in Bernie. We're going to see this girl on. Might not be ready for Paris, though. She's just about qualified to at least try to make the Olympic team in the distance runs as a sophomore Bernie Champion. I love seeing stuff like that. I mean, I don't know whether she's from here or there. It doesn't matter, but she's from here. She's one of ours. Congratulations, young lady. Well done.
It's pretty sick. Any Herculean form of athleticism deserves to be
Go YouTube the video. Go watch her run
on the tube.
Yeah, you can find it. This is big time stuff.
I believe you. I mean,
she owns both the high school national records at the 5,000 and the indoor mark at 15:28:90. She's running everywhere. Just a revelation. Go get it. Go to Paris. Let's have something to cheer about there. And the future looks awfully bright. We went to break talking about stars and what they should be doing. It appears that Robert Downey Jr., amongst his many exploits, is going to come back from the dead. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. The guy's done a lot of other stuff too. But he would like to do that again. And I thought, wow, that's cool. You never want to. Normally, you kill off a character because you're tired of the character. I don't think anybody was tired of Iron Man. He was just tired of doing it. But now he's back. Would you be happy with it? And what else? What about Daniel Craig coming back as James Bond? Or because we haven't had a new one, he hadn't really left.
Is that who you want to be James Bond?
I think I saw someone named the other day, though I didn't recognize it. They had been talking about the best Bond was Sean Connery, but it's too late for that. They'd been talking
everybody
about
has their Bond.
Yeah, it depends on when you were born. I mean, there's some that have Roger Moore, and there's Timothy Dalton and Roger Craig. There's been a lot of good ones. Roger Craig.
Wow.
Whatever.
Pierce Brosnan, disrespect.
No, Pierce Brosnan, respect. He just didn't do it for very long. I'd rather just see a James Bond. I don't care who's doing it more than anything else. Like a Jason Bourne, I'd like to see a Jason Bourne continue. They try to close the series out, but those guys live on forever.
If I could revive a character with a specific actor, it would probably be Walter White with Bryan Cranston, or
that.
Jesse Pinkman, for what it's worth. And this kind of happened already, but I would want to see a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie now. Like, I want to see an older Spider-Man. You understand? I want to see a Spider-Man with like a kid. You know what I mean? I want to see a Spider-Man managing adulthood. Spider-Man paying a mortgage.
How many Spider-Men have we had? 2? 3?
In terms of people that
recently
have portrayed the role?
Yeah.
3.
3.
3 people have done it.
So Maguire, was he the first one?
He was the first. Tobey was the first.
Who was the second one?
Andrew Garfield.
Oh, that's right. Andrew Garfield. Not a bad Spider-Man.
And then obviously now Tom Holland.
And Tom Holland, he's British, right?
He is, yes.
That we count that against him.
He's a Spurs fan, but not our Spurs.
Oh, yeah. So no, not Tom Holland. I think Andrew Garfield was my favorite. Bring him.
That's wrong.
So the only thing with Maguire is he always felt like he was too sickly for the thing. That's just me. Who else would you have come back? Harrison Ford as Han Solo?
He did come back as Han Solo.
Yeah.
And I don't need Harrison Ford coming back for 40-year-old roles at this point. I don't need any more Indiana Jones movies. I don't need,
like ever. Like you couldn't. What if somebody else was to take over the Indiana Jones?
I'd rather have
mantle?
no more Indiana Jones movies than a recast. And I don't need Indiana's son, Illinois Jones or whatever. Like I don't need anything
like nothing. You don't like that style at all?
I'm good with Indiana. I feel like it's impossible to properly capture the magic of 80s adventure movies, which is what Indiana Jones was. And now it's just cheesy. Now it's horrible. Nobody enjoys the like the cheeky little jokes the way we laughed our heads off, 40 years ago. That's just reality. I mean, times change. You couldn't have had, a
That's
lot
a
of things
painful
today.
thing to hear.
I mean, it's the truth though. Like Back to the Future would flop.
What was the little sidekick that short round?
Short round.
So short round wouldn't play today?
He's actually in a Marvel show, the actor, and he's
No, I'm talking about the
wonderful.
character short round. Like, would that be a character that we could run with today?
Every kid's adventure movie requires some sort of
facetious, quick talking, brilliant little street urchin.
like sidekick or cuddly character. Not that he's cuddly or he's a human, but like some sort of like animal or whatever. So short round, I think would work, but the whole of Indiana Jones, man, I don't. Christian Bale, easily.
Michael Keaton, best Superman. Christopher Reeve. There's no thinking.
Yeah,
about
I mean, I was going through the Rolodex, but yeah, there's nobody better. Certainly, best Joker.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. Have you seen the latest trailer for the new Joker? That is beyond disturbing.
I never saw this is the Joaquin Joker, right? I never
Yes,
saw
this
the
is the
first
new.
one.
Well, the first one was just a 2.5 hour, I don't know, upset stomach ride. It was. I'm not saying it was bad. It was just so. Oh my gosh! But the new trailer of him standing in the rain crying is about as disturbing as. I don't want to see that, though. I want to. It's one of those things. But there's something about that character that drives those people that play it crazy. I'm just warning him. Make sure that we have therapy on hand for Joaquin. We lost one, right? We lost a Joker.
Well, we lost Heath Ledger right as that movie was about to come out. But the honorary starters, by the way, are about to tee off at Augusta. There's your boy Gary Player. So
the Man in Black headed that direction. Anybody else left? We saw on the Brigade Bar trying to redo Back to the Future.
It would not.
No, that one would not play at all.
I would hate it so much. That's my favorite movie of all time because it's one long movie, and if they touch it, if they mess with it, I will be pissed.
Well, it's also
touch Back to the Future
because we believe some of that crap was possible. Now, no. I thought I'd have self-lacing shoes by now.
Have you ever let yourself think about Back to the Future? Because it's easy to kind of find a plot hole within it.
Well, yeah. I mean, you find a plot hole in time travel? Sure.
Well, but it's a really obvious plot hole. And so, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. I've gotten lost in thought on Back to the Future many different
You've doom scrolled some theories regarding black-hatted things that may or may not be real.
Let me ask you a twist on this question or this idea, because your prompt was if you could have an actor or an actress come back and reprise a role that they have since moved on from, who would it be? But the question I'm going to ask you is if you could wipe the memory of a movie or show from your mind and watch it again for the first time, what would it be?
Oh, if I could go back and start a series knowing,
you could watch it for the first time. Exactly.
The greatest TV series in my mind ever put out was Breaking Bad. So if I could start that series from the beginning, but there's several, but oh man, I have to think about it. What do you guys think? If you could start a series over again and not know how good it was going to be and get to enjoy it all over again, what would it be? Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones?
It would not be
How I Met Your Mother?
No, knowing what I know about Game of Thrones and Him, I wouldn't do those. I would think about The Office. It's not the same from like a incredible writing standpoint as Breaking Bad, but the joy of it, it still exists watching it over and over again.
I'm still living that dream.
But watching it for the first time is the laughs are just harder. You know what I'm saying? And so I would consider The Office. I would consider maybe. I mean, Breaking Bad is really, really hard to beat. I would consider Spider-Man No Way Home because that was such an epic experience, like the merging of all of them. And so to relive that again would be awesome.
Yeah, that wasn't really part of my lexicon. I enjoyed the movie.
Willie Doo says Westworld.
Wow, that one kind of jumped the shark there at the end. But the first couple of seasons, the sex robots kind of kept everybody's attention wrapped to that.
I would offer Succession. Tony says Sons of Anarchy. I never got into Sons of Anarchy, but dude, Succession is just.
See, that's a dream I can actually live.
I know. I'm so mad that you have access to it and you won't do it.
Others, The Wire.
I've never seen The Wire, but
see, that's a dream you can live.
I don't think so because we
you're
have a
missing
problem.
out.
We have a problem in society where like, so I'm going to watch this and they're going to be like pulling out their flip phones. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to transport.
Well, now it's
yourself
a
to that
period
time.
piece. Now you have to view those like they're
That's what I'm
period
saying.
pieces,
Like
which is okay.
difficult it's different. It won't hit the same, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay fessing up that I missed out on that particular run, but it wouldn't hit the same. I would watch the first 3 seasons of Lost again, knowing or not knowing anything. Just the first 3 seasons.
No, because knowing what I know now, what an utter letdown that truly became.
Joshua offers Friends in the Brigade Bar. Great suggestion.
It is.
Antonio offers Ozark. Great suggestion. And Gilberto offers Mad Men. Ooh, Hector offers House of Cards. House of Cards took a turn.
We like the Brigade Bar. You can talk to us. You can type to us. Either way, 656-3776. Scott, talk to us. You dial those numbers. Welcome on, man. Who would you bring back?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey,
Great
man.
show, as always. Enjoy doing it, man. For me, Ted Lasso.
Oh, you know what?
It's a great choice.
That ideally,
Great choice.
that's so fresh in my mind. I feel like it's not gone, but it is. I agree. Nothing made me feel better at that. And keep in mind, this was all during a bleak and dark time when Lasso got huge. And that weekly little taste of good feeling, there was never a more appropriate show for the time than Ted Lasso. Well said.
To twist the prompt just a teeny bit more, Rob, if you could watch a show that you had never seen before with the ability to binge it, does that change your answer?
It does. Absolutely. Because remember, the classic example of the show that just forever, I want to call it Goodfellas, the mob movie with Gandolfini that just fell out of my brain.
The movie?
No, the mob series.
The Sopranos?
The Sopranos. The Sopranos, you'd go like 5 years between episodes.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to go back and just binge it straight through, it took a decade to get through The Sopranos for those of us that went through it because it was years between. So that'd be the best one to binge because you can just dive right in.
Friends came up when Ross says Emily, you had to wait the whole summer to find out like what was going to happen. And I would offer, this is a bit of a spoiler for Game of Thrones, so I apologize. But when Jon Snow died or was murdered by the Night's Watch.
But don't worry, it gets better for those of you who haven't seen it.
Well, but there was this sense of like, oh, is he really dead? And
you
that
had
was
to
the
wait.
point. That was the point where the show caught up with the books, and so nobody knew. But then, like, because of the times we live in, people were like, well, the Kit Harington hasn't cut his hair, and Kit Harington was spotted on the north of Ireland, and so it's like, oh man, like I can't even allow myself to feel any kind of suspense because all these things are kind of answering the question for me.
Which, by the way, you Jon Snow fans, I just saw this yesterday. There will be no spinoff with Jon Snow involved in the Game of Thrones.
So I wouldn't go back and binge Game of Thrones, but I would go back. See, and I appreciated not binging Succession. It was nice to have. I know I keep harping on this, but it was nice to kind of have that weekly appointment television.
There's something about the build-up and the conversation to the show that really did matter. And Game of Thrones was key. That was key to the end of that.
Game of Thrones had that. Succession had that. I don't know what show has that right now. I don't think anything. Maybe House of the Dragon has a chance to have that. The new season coming out. But
Bob Martin,
it upsets me so much that you won't watch Succession.
I will eventually. Bob Martin on the Brigade Bar. Now you're an old fart for sure. High Chaparral, Bonanza, and Gunsmoke. You ate every one of those. That was one for every one of the networks. Wasn't one of those NBC, ABC, and CBS? They were all competing against each other.
Wow.
Of those three, I'll tell you, of those three, the one that should have gotten more credit for being great was High Chaparral. Bonanza and Gunsmoke lived forever, and that was
different
too.
Era.
But oh gosh, yeah, this is back in an era we barely had color. But
we're
Bonanza
looking for
was
like
too
how about
soft.
Boy Meets World? You got some Boy Meets World knowledge for me?
That's too new.
What do you mean too new? Boy Meets World. There was a lot of life lessons in Boy Meets World.
There was for your generation. For us, we were kind of like those kids. What would you bring back? Dexter was extraordinary, and he just rode off on a boat. He could be back. That wouldn't be that hard to fix.
Dexter, Scrubs. I would go back and rewatch Scrubs.
Okay, so if you love Scrubs, then you probably were down with like Community, Scrubs,
keep going.
Then there was the ones that were on USA. Oh man, Monk, and then there was the two friends.
There was Psych.
Psych. See, if you like Psych, you like Community. You liked all of those kind of niche sidebar comedies that really never had a place in time. You could land them again today, and they'd still be appropriate.
I recently, the last few years, watched Seinfeld all the way through for the first time, and that still held up. That didn't get trapped the way I think The Wire would. You could watch it for the first time starting today. Gilberto, by the way, says House. That was a great watch. The first time watching through, but then the second time you're like, maybe just treat a patient in a normal way.
Right, you're always miserable, man. Just maybe you get a cold every now and again.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why does every disease have to be like the rarest thing in the history of the world? What kind of town do you live in? What's going on? Like, what's in the water there? So yeah.
Hey, we'll continue. We want your suggestions. Reprising a role and a chrome helmet. We talked about it a minute ago. We got a text from somebody in the know. Maybe there's an idea what the cowboy helmet might very well look like, as the NFL is going to allow yet another helmet. The Masters is going. We'll get you caught on the leaderboard as they're going off. It's a Masters Thursday, and we will treat it appropriately. He's RJ. I'm Rob. Together, we're the Morning Huddle, and with you, it's no fun. We'll be right back on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, we have got a star-studded show for you, including Ice Cube.
Ice Cube from the Big Three is going to join us on the Blitz. So will Nancy Lieberman. It's going to be a fantastic day talking Big Three basketball. Plus, we'll talk NFL with John McClain at 5:15. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Heart Royal Flush Tour 2024. May 1st, Frostbank Center. A journey through the hits and timeless classics. The iconic band returns with special guest Cheap Trick. Tickets on sale now at heart-music.com. Don't miss 2 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. Heart with Cheap Trick live.
Stirring fiber, exercising, frequent trips to the store for more laxatives and fiber. Sounds like your constipation with belly pain is a lot to manage. But if your symptoms that keep coming back are signs of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C, ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Sadly, statistics show that 1 out of every 3 women in the U.S. will encounter physical abuse from an intimate partner, and violence against children persist. Christie's Hope strives to overcome domestic violence by providing critical financial support to shelters that offer housing, healing, and preventative measures. Thomas J. Henry proudly collaborates with Christie's Hope in the shared mission to end domestic violence and empower victims. Join us in building a legacy of hope. Donate today at christieshope.org.
The future of medicine is here at QC Kinetics.
QC is the nation's leader in the most exciting revolution in pain management we've seen in decades, regenerative medicine. If you're tired of achy joints, your joint pain keeping you from doing what you love, then you need to call QC Kinetics now. Surgery, steroids, drugs, these are no longer your best options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative treatments that deliver lasting results. We're talking natural biologics using your own body's power to repair and restore damaged tissue. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup. Dr. Scheinkup is a pioneer in this field with 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, teaching, and publishing. He wants to get you relief with a needle, not a knife. Call now to learn more about some exciting options in this revolutionary approach to get you long-term relief with no downtime. So what are you waiting for? Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details. Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text DRAFT to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text DRAFT to 200-300 right now. Text the word DRAFT to 200-300. Don't wait. Text DRAFT to 200-300.
Good morning, everybody. Jason Minix here from the Blitz starting at 2 o'clock today. Of course, we'll get you caught up on everything going on at the Masters. We'll talk some NFL with John McClain at 5:15 and the Big Three tournament with Ice Cube. He will join us at 3:35. RJ, I'm pretty sure you have one of those caddy outfits from the Masters, but Rob, do you? And in what size?
I don't know how to take that, Jason Minix. What my wife and I do in our privacy of our own home is nothing to you.
On the subject of
golfer
of
and
the
caddy
outfits,
Huh?
we're about to start the Masters, which is exciting.
See,
So
I
they
play the
just had-
golfer and she's the caddy.
Well, so they just had the honorary starters tee off, right? And sacred tradition at the Masters. And some of the things that they do are very cool, like the way that the traditions are. And I don't think anything that they do is not cool, but I think some of the things they do are a little bit, so they have 3 starters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the starters go hit one tee shot, and they each have a caddy who comes with them. And I'm fine with this. Like, it's a ceremonial thing. You want to have your,
Well,
your
you gotta
your
keep in mind the
grandkid
age
or-
of these guys. They're there to carry more than clubs.
But the bag, it's a full bag. it's a full bag.
But it's
of
also
gloves.
carrying like a pacemaker.
But like, what do we need a full bag to go hit a tee shot on? Like, what are you? Do you need your 7-iron? Like, do you need
No.
your 5 hybrid?
Got-
Like,
There's an entire pharmacy in those bags, man.
What could you possibly need the whole bag for? It's a little bit silly.
Nitroglycerin pills, Walker.
There's a copy of today's newspaper, the Augusta Times. It's just with a pen that's like clipped on to do the crossword or whatever.
It's the Rodney Dangerfield. They got some beer. They got a tap in there. A little bit of music to go along with it.
Wow. But yeah.
So who let him off? We had Jack and Player.
Yeah. So sorry, my computer's fucking out. Jack and Gary have been doing it for a long time. Tom Watson.
Did Watson join them too? I was just curious. Was he the third?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, imagine you're friends with Tom Watson, and he hits you up, Rob, dude. You and I were great friends. I'd love for you to go be my caddy for the honorary start. I go hit the honor, my tee shot, whatever. Yeah, dude, I'd love to do it. You get there. Well, I need you to get dressed up in this caddy.
Right, put on
Apparently
this white
you have one,
carry-all.
Okay, all right. I'll do that. Cool. I mean, I'm here for the good times, here for the vibes. All right, cool. You come on out. Well, here's the bag. The bag, you're hitting
What's
one
the max
shot?
number of clubs you can carry?
14.
14. And these guys are hitting one hole, and they got all 14
They're not hitting
clubs.
one hole. They're hitting one shot.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. They're one shot. They got all 14 clubs with them. I think I'll use the alien wedge today there, Bob. So how much do caddies get paid? I read it's like between $2,000 and $4,000 a week just for being there, depending on experience, because they do have kind of a union. And they take between 5 and 10%, depending on the player they're carrying for. They're lumping for.
On the bag, on who they're looping for.
Looping, not lumping. Are you looping or lumping?
Generally, it's a 10% cut of the winnings and some sort of flat rate, but the biggest deal is a 10%. So, but this is a unique place. Tommy Fleetwood, actually, I saw a story early this morning. His normal caddy is ill and hopefully okay, God willing. But because of that, he's using a local caddy because you need that local course knowledge. So Tommy Fleetwood is using a local caddy in the Masters. Pretty
what do you mean, like a guy that works that course on the regular?
Yeah.
Or just somebody that lives in town?
No. I mean, it's not like a resident
like,
of Augusta.
I know where you want some barbecue, I'll tell you where to go. Now, as far as the 13th, I have no idea, but
obviously the course is closed most of the year, but it is open to members, the coveted members of Augusta National. And so there are caddies, loopers that work the course, that know the course, that serve to be and I mean, there's a lot to this historically, but nowadays, modern times, they're just caddies that serve as, again, the people on the course for the members that play it when it is open throughout the year. So that's who Tommy Fleetwood has working his bag. You need somebody that can tell you, the grains here, the curves here, the undulations there. And that's what the week of prep is for. I mean, this is a course that everybody knows, but still, you need that local knowledge.
How many guys arrive at a tournament without a caddy?
I mean, I would say it's in the single digits.
It's in the single digits. So most of these guys have seriously. I mean,
less than a handful.
So less than a handful.
Have a caddy.
That you attach yourself to a caddy season long, and what they just show up when you jet home and they get in their. Is it like I've seen on TV where they're just getting in their car and they're driving to the tournament and all? Like, I'll just meet you in Augusta, be there on Wednesday.
Dude, the life of a professional golfer is really hard for the majority, for the non 1%.
Well, I'm thinking about the caddies that are only making $2,000 a week.
Well, I mean, you're making $2,000 a week unless you're on Scotty Scheffler's bag, or you know what I mean. Like it's still 10%, but I mean, it's a pretty legitimate 10%.
But not everybody's on.
But the caddies, for the most part, have to find their way to, get there. They have to find their lodging. I mean, some dudes stay with their players. I mean, again, it all just depends on the relationships that they have. Some people treat it as more of a workman-like thing. Dustin Johnson's had his brother on his bag. Phil's had his brother on the bag. I mean, so again, it kind of depends on how the relationship ultimately works. But yeah, so I mean, some dudes have to drive or fly, and that's why you got a lot of these guys sharing Airbnbs, you know what I mean? And look, this is the Masters. And so like everything is elevated and there's a bigger spotlight on everything. But, when you go play you go play Jack's tournament, you got to go and figure things out. When you go to South Carolina, you got to find the Airbnb there and everybody's got to drive and fly and use points and transfer points and whatever. I mean, it's a hard life, especially for the dudes who are trying to make it. That's why, Akshay a week ago is like, hold up, I have a chance to do something really special here. I need to make sure that I win this tournament. And when you win a tournament, you obviously have exemptions.
So did he roll in with his own caddy, or is he waiting on one that's in Augusta?
He has a caddy. A long time ago, we're talking like the 50s and whatnot, you had to use local caddies.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way the Masters worked. Obviously, there have been changes to the structure of the tournament and to the property over the course of time.
The college basketball, pro basketball, ladies, men's, all rolled into one. A lot of basketball talk from John Calipari signing his deal in Arkansas and speaking to the rabid fans, to the Caitlin effect, to the Fever. The TV deal are out, and man, oh man, Caitlin going to be on TV enough. We'll look around the basketball world, and that will include the draft that's coming. And the reviews on Bronny James ain't good. We're looking around the round ball world next. Stay with us. This is 94.1, and you're on San Antonio's Sports Star. You know, we had Dr. Jason Garrett on every Wednesday to tell us how athletes get themselves ready and back in the game. Arosty plays a crucial role in our lives, how we get back in the game. Listen, if you're living in pain, there is a fix out there. You do not need to cover it or hide it with pills. You don't need to go and see a doctor about surgery. Go to Arosty first. Arosty providers are all around San Antonio, and they're highly trained medical experts with one job in mind, and that's to get you out of pain. If you're dealing with soft tissue injuries, sprains or strains, frozen hips, bad shoulders or bad knees, lower back issues, tension, headaches, plantar fasciitis, just to name a few of the things that Arosty can fix and fix fast. They accept most insurances, and you never need a referral to go to an Arosty provider. Write this number down. It's 1-800-404-6050. Their website is arosty.com. Go there. Do your due diligence. They've also got a map there that shows where all the providers are. I bet there's one less than 10 minutes from where you are now. Listen to me. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. There's a fix out there. Call them today. Let them take care of it. Under 4 visits is the average. They get folks back in the game. Call them, find out for yourself. And when you do, I want you to thank me later.
It's the 2024 NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We're the 24th pick. The Dallas Cowboys select
April 25th, 26th, and 27th. Join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft. Live from Detroit.
I love the tenacity and the aggression with which he plays. He is a mauler.
Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number 1? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant?
the Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
You don't ever want to pass on the guy you ought to be taking there, but still be position
I
selected.
thought Sauce Gardner would be the first corner, but you go back to 2019, and that version of Derek Stingley is as good as anybody in this entire draft class.
Find out right here on your exclusive home for the NFL Draft. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I lock up my Old Spice Fiji aluminum-free dry spray to keep that 24/7 lasting freshness safe for myself. Fresh coconuts, palm trees in the wind. It's like catching waves in Fiji. Actually, I just talked myself into a refreshing spritz of Fiji. My Old Spice is missing! No!
Lowe's knows pros need the right tools for every job. That's why we sell the largest in-store selection of Klein tools anywhere. Find new items like the self-leveling green laser level for just $159.98. Plus, shop the Connect pass-through socket set for $49.98, which you can only find at Lowe's. Shop Klein tools in-store and online today, because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
Marcus is a connoisseur of anything that's free, so he was happy to read the disclaimer on TurboTax Free Edition.
Roughly 37% of taxpayers qualify. Form 1040 and limited credits only. See how at TurboTax.com. That's me.
File your taxes 100% free with TurboTax Free Edition and get your max refund guaranteed. See if you qualify to file for free at TurboTax.com. See max refund guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
Let's clear out winter and clean up the lawn with Spring Black Friday savings at the Home Depot. Right now, get the Ryobi One Plus leaf blower for just $89 and make your lawn work easier with a powerful 90 miles an hour of clearing power. Plus, you can buy it online and pick it up in store, getting you outside sooner. Get your yard spring ready with the Ryobi One Plus leaf blower, now just $89 during Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. See store at homedepot.com/delivery for details.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Ever wonder what's around the next corner? With a Nissan SUV's capability to thrust your big adventures to the next level, there's no need to wonder. The 2024 Nissan Rogue's class-exclusive Google built-in is your always updating assistant to call on for almost anything. And with Google Assistant, Google Maps, and Google Play Store built right into the 12.3-inch HD touchscreen infotainment system, there's no need to connect your phone. Go find your next adventure with the 2024 Nissan Rogue, the Nissan Pathfinder, or the Nissan Armada. Learn more at nissanusa.com.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
94.1 FM,
San Antonio Sports Star.
Punch it! You're riding with Rob and RJ. This is the Morning Huddle.
It's the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. Just the beginning of a full sporting day. All your Masters updates all day long. We'll get them for you. They're going off as we speak. The storms that blew through us and through the southeast have passed, though they do expect a little bit of rain and wind all day long. Yes, RJ.
We have some breaking news.
Three note
It's really
sting
sad
time.
news. Really sad news. I saw this during the break and was texting the station group text that we have. According to a tweet from his family, O.J. Simpson just died.
What?
Tweet from his account on Twitter at the real OJ32. On April 10th, our father, Orenthal James Simpson, succumbed to his battle with cancer. He was surrounded by his children and grandchildren. During this time of transition, his family asks that you please respect their wishes for privacy and grace. O.J. Simpson was 76 years old.
And they're saying he passed yesterday?
I think they said yesterday. Yeah, they said on April the 10th. But they just announced this. I'm sorry. I'm still kind of reading all this. TMZ has a story up on this now. Obviously, including OJ's past, includes the tweet, and it says OJ had reportedly been. This is from the TMZ article. OJ had reportedly been battling prostate cancer in recent years, and his health took a turn for the worse of late, with him landing in hospice care within the past few months. Word about
This is complicated,
his cancer,
isn't it?
This is from the article. Word about his cancer diagnosis first made the rounds in February when a local outlet reported it, although the details were hazy, as was OJ's response to the news at the time when he denied he was in hospice but didn't address the cancer report. According to adding to the mystery was the fact that OJ actually touched on a cancer diagnosis in 2023 with a video he posted on X when he said he'd caught some form of cancer but suggested he'd beaten it. In any case, the cancer came back and claimed his life about a year later. Obviously, and then it's a bit of a retrospective on his life. So
a complicated history for sure. Certainly. Man, I don't know how to parse this because he is a bad guy. Now, decisions after that can be made, but a complicated history for a man that had a great effect on a lot of different things. And a time in our lives, for those of you, a lot of you don't remember the OJ situation in the early 90s, but it changed America. But at the end of the day, I do think that he's going to be quantified as a bad guy. I don't know how else to put it. He's a murderer, just never convicted. And more than one time, he almost admitted it.
You're right that it's difficult to parse, I think, because death is always a sad thing and always a devastating thing. Any loss of life is a devastating thing, but that's, I mean, there was a loss of life involved here, you know, many years ago. I mean, what year did this take place? I mean,
Early 90s, 90.
yeah.
I remember sitting in 92 watching the chase, I believe.
And so, I mean, he is perhaps the most infamous athlete in American sports history.
It would be hard to get past. Now, certainly there's been others that are guilty of murder and have been put down and put away and canceled in a variety of ways. But this, because he was at the crux of so many other things. 1994 was the chase.
Oh, thank you, Berto, for the during the Rockets Knicks NBA.
Yeah, I remember sitting at a sports bar watching the chase.
I think that's one of those things like Michael Jackson died in 2009, and that was, and obviously
in the midst of other things,
right. But that's one of those, like, everybody kind of remembers that. That's a little bit easier for me to kind of contextual. I remember exactly where I was. I remember exactly what I did. It's one of those things, and I think that because of his prior to everything, the chase and everything like that, he was one of the, I would say at the time, you can certainly correct me if I'm wrong, one of the 25 people who most every American knew, right? Like, if you
without
put together
hesitation.
a list,
Yes,
that's what I'm
he
saying.
was
Like,
the biggest football player in the world for 5 years.
Right. And he was inordinately talented on the football field, and then he was inordinately charming as a broadcaster and all these things. And so I don't know that anything like that could ever happen again, partly because of the time. And the documentary that ESPN did now, what was that, like 6 or 7 years ago, was a fascinating look. And I think they did a great job of contextualizing the time and why, modern impressions were what they were at the time of the trial. But I mean, again, I would have a difficult time coming up with a more infamous American sports icon.
There's not in our era. If you're just joining us, late word, we're hearing that O.J. Simpson passed away yesterday. He'd been in hospice care. We do know that he had been treated for prostate cancer. We do know that. But we're just hearing this morning that his family is telling us that he passed, and that we're going to have some difficult conversations and some difficult histories going to be brought up over the next several days, from the chase to the LA riots to the trial. While OJ was a bit player in this mammoth show that encompassed everything that America was going through at the times. And not only did it represent the racial relationships that were going down in LA, but just the burgeoning idea of 24-hour news and what the trial brought to us. Everything about what we do today, there was a pivot point back in 1994 to about 96 that really brought us here. And it was the CNN wall-to-wall coverage. It was the athlete turned bad. It was the murders. It was all of that rolled into one. And it's I guess it's time to have that post-mortem conversation. We're not ready for it. But here we come. And you get the sense it's going to come over the next couple of days.
Adam Schefter just tweeted about it, and I'm reading through right now. It seems to be a factual reading. It says O.J. Simpson, the former football great who was accused of and ultimately acquitted of the brutal 1994 slayings of his ex-wife and her friend, has died. I mean, that's one sentence that contains an enormous amount of information and emotion and impact. And I mean, prior to 1994, I think you could make the argument that Jim Brown, I think, was kind of the pioneer and the trailblazer for life of prominence, life of prominence, life of pop culture, life of fame after football, parlaying a football career into a life of fame and a life of broadcasting or whatever it may be. And OJ certainly kind of followed that. And so, I mean, he defined eras of collegiate and NFL history.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Jim Brown, because while they're both, in their post NFL careers, they had notoriety for being above and beyond the game. But Jim Brown was always one thing, and OJ was a very different thing. And when you go back to what OJ was becoming, because he was acting and because he was selling rental cars and shoes and a variety of other things, he had become something slightly different than what Jim Brown was. Jim Brown stood up for equality and many other things. OJ was the first to kind of do what Tiger did, like, a lot of people rent cars. I don't want to make anybody mad. And he had kind of gone another direction. That dichotomy is going to be discussed, because he was the athlete that had gone a different way. He didn't. The race was pushed aside. He was an athlete and an actor and a TV, a football announcer. All of that kind of wiped into one. I feel like I'm going to be forced down into some memories that a lot of us have put down.
Where do you remember vividly where you were?
I know exactly where I was when I first heard of the murder. I know. I can tell you, I was at Texas Sports Bar on the Hilton on 410, watching the Rockets-Knicks playoff game, watching the chase. I can tell you exactly where I was then. I can tell you exactly. I know exactly where I was when the through the trial, which we all lived and breathed for months. I know when the verdict came back, I was sitting at the Hooters on 281 with my college roommate, reflecting on the whole thing when it came down.
When he was acquitted.
When he was acquitted and the riots began. All of that. He was such a pivotal part in so many different threads in our society. It's going to be an interesting day as we look back on the life of O.J. Simpson, because the early part, as a young dude, O.J. at USC made me love college football. It was tailback you, and O.J. was the first, and you couldn't stop him. He was taking Notre Dame down, UCLA down, more than Texas, more than anything in Texas. For me, it was O.J. Simpson running the football. And that's what he was for a long time till he wasn't.
And then it was the electric factory in the NFL.
Turn on the juice, baby. Larry Little. No, what was it? His big center, his guard. They were part of the electric company because they turned on the juice. The battle. I remember when he went to San Francisco and tried to carry on with those bad knees. He was part and parcel to. He was as popular an NFL football player as there was. From his acting roles in the in the police story movies, Nardberg.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was becoming a star. He did sideline reporting for the NFL on NBC. He was a dashing figure on the sideline of the Laker games. I mean,
it was really charming. I mean, I think you see like nowadays, a lot of people, a lot of athletes go into broadcasting and they struggle with it, and they don't have the pizzazz or the panache or the whatever. And it's just, it feels like a natural next step for so many people, or it's not even if they're broadcasting. A lot of people host a podcast or whatever, and it's just, not everybody's cut out to do that. And he was, everybody's kind of known somebody in their lives that was just like really great at everything that they ever tried and was the best and was the most perfect and was, just kind of fit every box. And seemingly that's the life that OJ lived until this took a horrific turn, obviously. And I mean, everything about who OJ's been since getting out, I mean, I don't even know how long it's been at this point in time, has just kind of been this awkward, acknowledgement, whatever situation. He is not only the most infamous person, I think, in American sports history, but probably the most, I don't even know that he's divisive, because I think everyone shares the same opinion. You know what I mean? Like, I think everyone has a universal opinion of OJ, but I could be wrong in that sense.
When you think back on that era, and the post acquittal, and then the ongoing, the search for justice from the families that lost, the Goldmans. And I remember, what's his name, Ron Goldman's father, and just how devastated, and his sister, how devastated they were. I hope at some point they found some peace. And as we are announcing today, or finding out that O.J. Simpson has passed yesterday.
And I think
complicated questions and conversations going to be had yet again today.
The Kardashian family's,
think of that. It was sprung from him.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, if not for that trial,
And if you don't know, if you're young, Kim Kardashian's birth father was OJ's personal attorney, not his criminal attorney. He was the personal attorney that brought in the dream team for which history was made, and that's Kardashian's father.
He's the so ESPN did an incredible, I don't know that it was a 30 for 30, because it was a unique thing. It was like a 5-episode, ultimately like 14-hour long. Exactly. It was one of those, like, I think they won an Oscar for it, or an Emmy, but I think it was FX that did a show it was obviously nonfiction, but it was like a fictionalized
Where
version.
Schwimmer played.
David Schwimmer played the Kardashians' father, or her birth father, I should say. And so if you watch that show, David Schwimmer is the person that we're talking.
And
the
there was
character that we're
always
talking
the
about.
question whether he knew, whether OJ told him. There was always the question, like, did OJ let you know that he did it?
I mean, again, his trial and his life in many ways created all sorts. I mean, the ripple effects of it all in modern culture, sports culture, pop culture. I mean, just it's a cascading sort of thing. And the undercurrent to it all was always the horrible tragedy that he was at the center of. I mean, it just I don't know of a story in not even sports history, but just American history that is quite like this.
It had legs. To this day, you can't look at a white Bronco. If you see a white Bronco of that era, the first thing you think is OJ. It's the OJ vehicle. They had to stop making it. They pulled the Bronco off the market for a decade because it was the OJ getaway car. Now, who was his driver? The one he lost his friend. He passed away a couple years back. AC. Was that his name? His partner who was driving the slow motion getaway car. His best friend who took him to his house. I mean, there's a flood of memories coming back from 1994. And forgive us old heads over the next 3 or 4 days as we reflect back on a time that was absolutely instrumental to how we got here. And it had nothing to do, well, it had everything to do with the murder, but it was the ramifications afterwards, the TV trial, the riots and the racial relations in LA and across the world, across the country. It reflected on that. Police, I Can't Breathe came out of this. All of that came out of an OJ trial. And not to mention just the trial itself, its effect on our American psyche, its effect on football. I think you can trace the OJ roots to the Colin Kaepernick things. I think there are so many things that pivoted in 1996, and we're going to get a chance to kind of debrief yet again as we lost the primary, I don't know how you define what he is, villain of the last 30, a villain in every sense of the word. But at the other side of that, a beloved football player and an icon, which when you think Heisman Trophy and you think 2,000 yards, you better be thinking OJ because he did it first.
He forced a lot of people to reckon with the realities of life, because we treat sports as these distractions, as these, worlds that we just vault ourselves into to escape reality sometimes, right? Like, I'm not saying that's all sports are, but they can be this transformative avenue to ignore the uncomfortable elements or aspects of either our personal lives or life in general. And he forced people to come to terms with that middle ground because he was a villain that was suddenly at the center of it all. And it was such a villainous and heinous crime that you couldn't ignore it. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't separate the two. It couldn't be, I disagree with this person's political stance, but I'm going to root for them anyway. Or I don't like this player's shoes. I don't like that this player left my team for this other one, whatever, blah, blah. This was a violation of the human code that he made.
And yes, we had a couple on the brigade bar. I'm not saying that the OJ acquittal led to riots. Rodney King led to the riots, but it was just a furthering part of the relationship between the police and the general presence in LA. It was just a further indictment of a police that are planting evidence. It all kind of festered in the LA cauldron that was, and I can just feel the riots and the string from there till now. And that's just that part of the story. It doesn't even go into the trial and all the names that came from that. And then you throw in the football out of it. It is part and parcel of modern America. And we lost the key player today. Good, bad, or indifferent, O.J. Simpson has passed away. Lots of conversation today. I'm sure it'll be carried forward as Greenie's coming, Rome will be here, and here comes the Blitz. Oh, by the way, they're going to have Ice Cube there, too. Talking Big Three basketball. RJ, you have yourself a fine day. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Your home for